with someone you didn't intend to have kids with. So now we have to kill the kids in the womb.
Yeah.
And, these no-fault divorce laws. These women get married to guys maybe they never intend to stay with. And then when they're out, they're done. And they want child support and they want half the stuff. And I think
I agree with Nick on this. I actually am a fan of the child support and everything. And because it's best for the kid. Like, I don't really care. Like, if you have a kid, I think that a society that doesn't put its young people and its children first is going to become a dead-end society. And so, like, as much as I do agree with this, no, I do. I do. I think that really if you're a guy, because also men bear this responsibility also. The big problem with this, and I think here's where the issue lies, it's that men and women don't have equality in custody. I think if equality in custody was equal, everything else would make sense. So, like, for example, it makes sense that the parent that's not taking care of the kid should have to contribute to the well-being of the kid. This is 100% true, and it's what's best for the kid. So, like, if you have
that's cool.
That's cool. With somebody else,
that's cool with me, my nigga.
It's like 8 years old. You can't get along with each other anymore, and you've got to have this issue. I don't want to put that kid in a position where he's living in poverty because these two parents are retarded. And so you try to create a system where there's accountability for that. But the problem and where it breaks down is in custody. Because whenever women get custody, probably, 90% of the time, something like that, and men are always
90% of the time
child support, well, then there's a huge there's a huge distortion there. It's very clearly not the issue. So look at father custody stats. They obliterate mom stats. Well, I don't know about like which stats on what for what thing, right? But my point is that I think that child support as an idea is a good idea because it is beneficial for the child fundamentally. And I think putting the child's needs first beyond the needs of the parent is what makes more sense.
Absolutely. Always put the child's need first.
In the long run.
I don't know what these niggas be thinking, but put the child
first. You can't
first.
have that whenever you have rigged court systems.
Well, absolutely not, especially when all the judges are female.
A lot of men are looking at women and they're very liberal. They're overweight. They have a very high estimation of themselves. I think that people call it hoflation.
Hoflation.
Yes.
He doesn't know what it means.
Hoflation. Remember, 70% have OnlyFans.
Their own looks and sexual value is very inflated. And so a lot of people are looking at these like frumpy, obnoxious, loudmouth, liberal women who are also very promiscuous and saying this is not actually appealing at all. And I don't.
This is the reason why I think a lot of guys end up dating girls that are like in other countries too. Yeah, I mean that's it. Disagree on child support, man, and encourages women to want a divorce. You didn't listen to the custody. Like you're an NPC. You're literally an NPC. You didn't even listen to the custody conversation. I probably should just ban that guy, Passport Bros. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, like if you can't get a girlfriend here because they're all obnoxious, weird, and fat, then yeah, you're gonna probably try to go look somebody else somewhere else. Like, duh.
Right.
Of course.
I don't want to start a family with.
I mean, I can't really talk a lot of shit. Okay. Like the last one was, from Canada and then previously China.
This is educational purposes only, yo.
From Sweden. Okay, so like I really don't have a lot of room to talk here.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it is.
But if you believe in the patriarchy, as I fervently do, because it's just reality, we didn't choose the system. We were born into a system that is part of nature. Can't get out of it. So if you believe that that's true, which it is, then you think that men should lead, and if it's going to be better, men should make it better, because that's their job.
Right.
So you don't want to give them a pass, do you? And be like, it's all the girls suck, so...
I don't even blame it on the women because I think that it's the incentive.
I think that there are a lot of guys that are fucking losers. I think that there's a lot of guys that
a lot
are
of loser
fucking
dudes.
Losers. They blame everything on women. They have no interests, they have no skills, they have developed no personality other than being good at one video game.
Right.
They're not personal.
Or they're just trying to overplease women.
They're obnoxious.
That's what I think too.
Emotionally
I think there's a lot of men out there that only agree with the collective thought
there are a lot of
because
guys out there.
Women,
like, honestly,
they want to get cool women points.
If you guys have any friends that are girls, right, or like maybe a sister or something like that, you probably, if for every one friend that you have or sister you have, you probably have 3 stories of loser guys, right?
Right, absolutely.
Like, it's a huge
absolutely.
problem. Now, I'm not saying that hoes aren't a problem too, but I think this is a both sides type situation.
Oh, for sure.
But the problem is that socially, toxic feminine behavior is accepted, and socially, toxic male behavior is shunned. That's the problem.
Structures. You know, women are allowed to do this by the legal system, by
loser epidemic? Yes.
kind of social norms. Technology is a big part of it. The attention that is available to women.
That's right.
Women go on Instagram and they get attention from thousands of men.
Yes.
So it's the incentives. But I would say that, because I hear this all the time, people say, well, the men need to step up and be better and lead the women.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Men need a backbone.
They just don't want to listen, bro. Sometimes they just will not fucking listen. You explain this shit to them. Nope, they will not listen.
You know, because
that.
They're at war with the system, and not even just the system, but also society. Because let's say you find one of these so-called good girls who's Christian and traditional, but through osmosis, wherever you go, she's going to be in society. She's going to be on TikTok.
So you can't let her out of the house.
She's going to be on Instagram.
Yeah.
She's going to be talking to other women. And maybe she's one way when you meet and get married, but 10 years down the road, 15 years, 20 years down the road.
That's my dad said that happened with my mom. He said that whenever they started dating, she wasn't crazy, and then she went crazy over time. But in retrospect, I think that, honestly, I think it's kind of true, but like, I think they both were crazy. I think they both were crazy, really. I mean, it really was like, but it was like 2 different kinds of crazy.
People change.
Yeah.
And I think that women, as kind of the ultimate conformists, the ultimate enforcers of like social norms, I think
my dad said that my mom used to cook him fried chicken and fix her own car, change her own oil and everything. And then after she got married to my dad, she stopped doing everything and she just expected my dad to do everything. And it made him really mad. He's like, I got bait and switched. It's not fair. She didn't want to do a fucking thing.
Eventually, the pressure from society kind of gets to them.
I think there's definitely. Have you guys ever had like like a girlfriend or somebody or a girl you're talking to, like get influenced by some sort of like fucking social media thing, and then it like changes the way that she looks at stuff, or like she has some, or she'll like ask you a question. Like sometimes whenever it's like, Zach. So if I died, which one of my friends would you want to date any of my friends if I died? And it's like, if you could put my personality in another woman's body, who would it be? I'd be, oh shit, bro, are you kidding me? Like, never ask that. I always, my policy, I'm single, by the way. My policy is that I always answer it with the thing that they want to hear the least. I'm like, oh, your hottest friend, for sure. Yeah, definitely the hottest one. Yeah, the one, which one are you the most jealous of? Jessica? Yeah, Jessica, for sure. Uh-huh. Because that way you make them feel stupid. I don't have a girlfriend. Anyway, let's go to the next one. And so we even got, bro, so all the comments on this are wild. I don't even know if I can read these. I'm not even sure if I read these, bro. But they really going in on this. They love it. And wow, it's a good interview. I liked it a lot. Yeah, a lot of people were very positive. And let me go back. I see this one here, and there's another one. And
I thought you were a Fed.
I thought you were a Fed.
I was a Fed.
Yeah,
I'm not a Fed. But whatever, I don't care what people.
Yeah, we showed each other our badges. We know we're all.
No, but I thought you were a Fed because I was like, why not? It's not cucking to say you're not talking about all Jews when you oppose a foreign policy position. It's not. There's nothing liberal about that. It's just true. That's the Christian position. Okay. And two, why are you attacking like the best people and not the worst people?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, he disavowed me for my views on Israel and said I talk too much about white people and Christianity. And to me, that's like a sincere ideological disagreement. I get it. And, you know, same thing with Marjorie. Marjorie fired my guy. She disavowed me. And, you know, and you worked with Blumenthal on that article, but you called me on the phone and we talked. Yeah, I mean, I was like, what? From my perspective, I mean, this is all so stupid and inside baseball and whatever, but for the record, I was like, first of all, who is this kid? I'm working at Fox News. I'm aware there's an internet, but I'm more out of it than you may appreciate.
Yeah, and I can see that.
Out of nowhere, attacking this one. I had Joe Kent here to my house and did this interview with him, and I'm always in search of a sincere politician. Don't have to agree on everything, but I really believe sincerity is the whole game. If someone's heart is pure, he will be brave. I always have thought that. And it's turned out to be true. Marjorie's a perfect example. And
she's crazy,
that's all that matters. If you're afraid inside, if you're weak inside, you will crumble when it matters. So.
Remember what we were watching earlier? Remember all the Twitch drama? And there it is.
Oh, I really felt like, wow, Joe, don't agree with him on everything, of course, but I was like, this guy is really sincere. He's like a good person. And then you show up and you're like, he's a CIA officer, and I'm going to, I mean, he was a CIA contractor, but like really like crush the guy. And it's like, why, of all people, you agree on 90% of stuff? You know, that was my view. And I was like, well, clearly,
I think that makes sense. Sure.
Right. But you didn't know the whole story.
I didn't. You're absolutely right.
And look, and now that, and I want to be, I'm not trying to be combative. I think that.
Go ahead. You're not hurting my feelings.
I mean, here's what I'm trying to say is now that Marjorie is pushing in the right direction, I absolutely support everything she's saying. And I've not been critical of her at all this year.
Yeah.
Because I think that what she's doing is extremely courageous. And I think you're right. She is sincere.
So it sounds like you're, not to put words in your mouth, but your life experience has left you so stung by the Republican establishment. You don't trust anybody, it sounds like.
Well, no, I mean, these people attacked me when the rules were different, and now they got better, and now I'm good with them. I mean, I'm willing to be good with them.
You can't trust them, though. You can never trust. People that do that will roach out on you whenever it's inconvenient are going to do it again, because things always change. Things will change again, and when they do, you're going to have to consolidate people that will be on your side. Now, you always have to work with people, but you got to keep those people at an arm's length. You always have to keep those people at an arm's length. You can't trust anybody? Yeah.
But I think that I don't know if Marjorie still has a problem with me or not.
Yeah, there it is. And, pull the listening advice. No, I'm just saying, like, let me see here if I can find it. And the Ben Shapiro. Oh, here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Here we go. Now we're getting into the, well, you know.
I tweeted at Ben Shapiro. I said, I've never seen anything on the Daily Wire that's actually critical of Israel. And he quote tweets me. And at this time, I have 1,000 followers on Twitter.
How old are you?
I'm 18. I'm a freshman.
Still a freshman in college. Yeah.
And this is even before I started my show.
He didn't like that.
And I don't know, I probably got 100 likes on this tweet. It wasn't a viral tweet.
Big one. He
quote tweets me and says, to accuse a Jew of dual loyalty is the surest sign of anti-Semitism. And like, this is how it sort of begins. And I see this tweet. And by the way, that was on Christmas Eve in 2016.
He immediately called you an anti-Semite.
Man.
So I'm driving to Christmas Eve Mass with my family. And I see on Twitter, the notification comes up. Ben Shapiro quote tweets me, calling me an anti-Semite.
Uh-oh. Oh.
And I was like, what is this? Like, why is this guy attacking me? Because I don't have a platform at this time. I'm not an influential guy or anything.
Sure.
And so then I put out another tweet similar. I said something like, if you're China first, you should live in China. If you're Mexico first, you should live in Mexico. If you're Israel first, maybe you should go live in Israel.
True. True. Abso-fucking-lutely.
And again,
it's got nothing to do with Jews.
He quote tweets me and says, "You're an anti-Semite."
That same night?
That's the kind of stuff that makes people. That's the reason why I think that there's so much legitimate bad anti-Semitism, is because legitimate criticisms of Israel like this, or people having dual interests or working in the best interest of Israel rather than America, that's what's caused so many of those people to become radicalized. That's exactly it.
I think a couple weeks later.
It's because you keep calling people that word, and that has nothing to do with it. It's a boy,
a little bit further down the line. And so,
were you surprised that he knew you were?
Yeah, I was. I was surprised at why he cared.
Yeah,
because I'm thinking, how does he even know who I am or what I'm about?
Yeah, probably just saw it.
And it turned out that Cassie Dillon, she had texted him earlier, and she wanted him to take me under his wing. She texted him after that debate and said, you know, you really like this guy. He's amazing. He did this great debate. She goes, but he's a little too pro-Trump. He's a little too Trumpy. And he goes, I'll take a look. And so I guess the two of them were kind of like grooming me in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to go maybe and be a Daily Wire, or maybe looking me as a potential conservative activist or influencer. And so they started paying attention to me, and the more critical of Israel I was, I started to get this really intense pushback from the both of them and from a lot of the people at Daily Wire.
Why do you think, so you're an 18-year-old college freshman, you're clearly talented and you're engaged, you're really interested, and you ask not crazy questions like, what is this?
Well, they are crazy questions. In a crazy world, a normal question is crazy. That's the problem. Is that you live in such a radicalized, distorted reality that even something that's rational, natural, and normal to ask becomes insane.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than explain it, they just call you a racist, call you an anti-Semite. Like, that's the first...
Well, that's the way that they do it, is they just shut down conversation. It's the same as left-wing people do. I mean, right-wing people do it too also. But I feel like, you know, systematically, I feel like left-wing people have kind of had the advantage on this for a while.
Response. That seems like the least effective. Well, it turned out to be not very effective in your case. But that seems like the least effective thing you could do. Why do you think they did that? Just in the opposite way.
Well, I think that you have to look at it not in retrospect, because hindsight is 20/20. And so looking back, you could say they made a terrible mistake because look at sort of what they provoked or what they catalyzed. But at that time, you got to consider, I'm 18 with no following, with no network. I'm coming from the suburbs of Chicago. My parents didn't go to college. I have no connections. And so for them, it was very easy that if they detected that a promising young guy was going to become anti-Israel in the conservative movement,
just stomp them out immediately.
They could crush that person
easily
and grind them under the heel.
Yep.
So they sort of were alerted, oh, there's a precocious young guy that isn't on board with Israel. We'll keep an eye on him. And if he gets too vocal or popular, we'll cut him down. We'll crush him. Because
this happens everywhere. It's very obvious. People wanting, it's the same thing I said before about Twitch streamers trying to shit on new streamers coming up because they want to maintain their hegemony. That's it.
At this time, as you know, in 2017, it's a very different time. 2016, 17, any criticism or dissent on the subject was a death sentence. You became radioactive, unhireable, blacklisted, and that's exactly what happened. And basically from then on, it was just this escalating series of blacklisting, censorship, hit pieces, rumors to try to ostracize me from the movement. And
while you're a college student?
Yes. As a freshman,
So looking back with that 2020 hindsight, I mean, Ben Shapiro seems like a big part of your political evolution.
Yes.
You went from a fan / acolyte to an opponent and then just pivoted against everything that he believes.
Yeah, it was because it was this new dialectic that Trump forced.
Yeah.
Trump planted the seed.
And the seed was America first.
Yes.
So once you accept that, a lot of the way we're doing things becomes impossible to support or justify.
Well, it becomes very simple. It's like, is this in the best interest of America or not? And I think that a lot of times the answer to that is no. Like sending over a bunch of money overseas for some sort of humanitarian thing might make people feel good, but is it really the best thing for America to be doing? The answer to that is probably not really.
Right. The contradiction becomes apparent. It gets moved to the center, and it becomes unignorable if you're consistent.
Yep. America First, it was common sense. Yeah, of course it's common sense. Yeah, duh. And Nick Fuentes is in America First. He's fucking bullshitter. Yeah, people are going to think. I mean, you think whatever you want. I mean, I'm not going to get into that. Yeah.
I said, I think you're one of the greatest living Americans. I said, I'm a young guy. I said, I really have nothing to say other than thank you. I have nothing but gratitude for what you've done for the country. I said, it's really not my place, you know, to give you advice or correct you. And he said, no, don't be bashful. Tell me. And the story that I brought up was, this was really what sent me. In the first Fox News debate in 2015, in the Republican primary, Brett Baer, the first question said,
why are you calling him fat? Oh, no, this one.
Raise your hand if you will not pledge to support the eventual nominee.
Yes.
And Trump raised his hand.
Oh, so a little bit of context. People might not remember this. So they asked, they asked every single candidate to raise their hand if they would support the Republican nominee for the fucking 2016 election, regardless. Every single person raised their hand except for Trump. That was the actual question.
Because that's what he was saying. He said, you know, if I don't win, I'll run independent and I'll make Republicans lose.
Yes. Fuck them.
And so I brought that up and I told that story and I said, you know, I feel like what was inspiring in 16 is that you were willing to let the Republican establishment lose. Like you were serious about.
That's right. That's right. Because if you don't get what you want, you will burn the entire motherfucker down. And unless you do that, people will prey on your ability and your unwillingness to do that. That's it.
Blowing them up.
That's right.
Such that you are not going to say, like Pat Buchanan, who I respect, but Sam Francis acknowledged that was one of his great mistakes, was ultimately endorsing Bush. I said, it showed you were serious. You were playing to win.
Yeah.
Because you said, I will let this Republican Party crash and burn. I want to run as the Republican, but if I can't, I'll run independent. I said, and that's how I knew you were serious. Yeah. And that's how I knew you were the guy. I said, and I feel like lately, this was right after Ronna McDaniel became the head of the RNC again. I was like, I feel like lately you're just behind all these people. I said, we're not here for Kevin McCarthy. We're not here for Ronna McDaniel or Mitch McConnell. I said, we are here for you. Like, we will die for you. We are loyal to you. I said, and when you did that, that showed you could win, and we rallied. I said, so I want to see more like that. I want to see you hit DeSantis, let's say, who is running against him. And he was like, oh, okay. He goes, oh, so you like that? It was right after he called them DeSanctimonious.
Yeah.
I said, that was awesome. You should have kept hitting him. He's like, oh, you like that? He goes, this guy's hardcore. I like this guy he was saying about me. And so I was trying to just get his mojo back, and, gas him up a little bit. And
yeah, I think he's like that now again. I think for a while he was kind of a pussy in his first term, but now I think that he thinks that he has some mandate by God or something. He's like, I need to go to heaven, so I have to stop all of the wars and do all of this bullshit.
So that's how it went between me and him.
And what was Ye?
Yeah, there's nothing to lose. Exactly. Mandate for Israel. Look, I'm not a fan of that either.
Dang, at this point.
Well, he was he was beaming with pride because Trump turns to him and says, who is this guy? This guy's great. And Ye was like, right? And I was like, this is amazing.
Did you call your parents from the parking lot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man.
You'll never believe. Yeah.
So he met Donald Trump with Kanye West. So imagine showing a screenshot of this to someone in 2022. Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson discuss global Jewry and how it opposes Americanism. This shit has gone mainstream. Yeah. Oh my God.
If everything is inherited, then there's no hope for the continuation of America. Do you see that?
Yeah, I don't think it's genetically inherited. And what you're saying about putting aside the tribal interest for the corporate interest, that's absolutely the case. And that's the only way the country's going to stay together.
Exactly.
And
that's my concern.
And I absolutely agree with you. I would say, though, that the main challenge to that, a big challenge to that, is organized Jewry in America.
How many views does this have on YouTube? 2.3 million views, and on Twitter it has 10. Like, this is something that's probably been seen 20 million times. It's a lot.
I think Bill Ackman is capable of that. I don't think Sheldon Adelson is capable of that. I don't think Yoram Hazony is capable of that, for that matter. And many other, on the right and the left. And I see Jewishness as the common denominator. And you're right. It's not all Jewish people feel the same way. No one would say that, but that does seem to be the common denominator. And I just feel like it needs to be called out explicitly. And I like what you said. If the other day, if you're serving in another country's military or have dual citizenship, you really can't be a part of this project.
Well, that's
obvious, right? Say it's obvious. Say it's obvious.
And that's an easy one.
Duh, of course. Yeah, you shouldn't have dual citizenship. Duh, of course.
But I am much more comfortable as a Christian and an American keeping it on that level because, it's easy to just set universal rules that apply to everyone, not just the Jews or the Christians or the anybody, just like Americans can only serve in the U.S. military or they lose their passport. I mean, I don't know. That's not hard.
I agree with that, by the way.
And I don't know. Why not just say that?
Say what?
That. Why not make every statement about how Americans ought to behave applicable to all Americans? Like, it's the defense of universal values that will hold the country together and the emphasis on
I agree with Tucker Carlson here. I think that the amount of people like advocating for like Somalia, for example, like that's been like a minor thing that's been going on. I view that the same. I mean, Israel is much more powerful and influential, but on a fundamental level, I view it as the same thing.
Group values that will break it apart inevitably.
Still mad about that one?
Because this is a particular issue and it's acute. Like I said, I think they're unique in that way. I think that's a unique issue, especially in the Republican Party, especially in the conservative scene. This.
So how would you like this all to be resolved?
What I would like is for the U.S. government to not be influenced by these kinds of foreign allegiances, not with money.
True.
That comes from, American citizens like Sheldon Adelson, not from foreign lobbyists. So, I mean, in terms of tangible things, I don't think we disagree on any of it. Like registering AIPAC and FARA, banning dual citizenship. Like, I'm basically in agreement.
I think 80% of the public agrees with those things.
So
I'd be surprised if it was that low.
Kind of what gets me a little bit annoyed. It's like, these are, like America First, the concept, it's the most popular, self-evidently true idea you could have. Sense. Like, don't let foreign powers, especially tiny ones far away, control your country. Like, of course not.
No shit.
Everyone agrees with that on both sides.
Yeah.
So the trick is not to let that idea get subverted. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think we agree on that.
But it's subverted when they're like, that's hate. No, that's hate.
I think that the overfixation around Jewish people explicitly, whenever this is a problem internationally with people that have allegiances to other countries, I think it is kind of a red herring that makes it harder to discuss the fundamental problem that everybody is pretty much on the same side of. So basically, like, if you think that like just Jews from Israel are the problem, well, I don't think that's really accurate, because I think it's basically anybody from another country that's coming into America to subvert America, to make America act in the best interests of another country. So like if it's 99% one country, then will it always be 99% that one country? Because I think probably over time this will change. I think the fundamental thing is you stop the action, not the group. Because if you stop the group is going to identify differently. They're going to do different things. But if you stop the action, you really stop it at its very core. Or Mexico for us? Yeah, exactly, right? And so that's applies everywhere too. Yes, exactly. And easy pointer is APAC because you just want to point out. You can take the rest out. Yeah, sure. And what about dual citizens from Canada? Well, I would view it the same way. Yeah, I would view it the exact same way. I mean, Canada is very close to the United States, but it's not the United States. And if you're working in the best interest of Canada and you're in the United States, you need to leave. It's that simple.
Am I being paranoid? I feel like going on about the Jews like helps the neocons.
Well, what about my views do you think are unreasonable if yours are reasonable?
I think, again, I don't think it's cucky. I think it's reality to say that guilt is not inherited. Blood guilt is bad. One of the reasons that I'm mad about Gaza.
I think that any type of blood guilt that you put on people, like, oh, you're guilty for this because of like what your parents did or what your, like ancestors did. I think what's going to happen with that is that it will radicalize people in the next generation, and then it's going to create a lot of big problems. It doesn't create a problem immediately, but it will create problems over time. So according to you, you can't be American and a Jew? No, that's not what I said. Actually, I'm not even going to respond to your question because you literally just you just took what I said and then turned it into something I didn't say. Just going to perm ban you? Yeah, I mean, I just didn't even say that.
Because the Israeli position is everyone who lives in Gaza is a terrorist because of how they were born, including the women and the children. That's not a Western view. That's an Eastern view. That's a non-Christian. That's totally incompatible with Christianity and Western civilization. Yeah. And they say, oh, we're the defenders of Western civilization. Not with that attitude. You're not. Collective punishment is the enemy of Western civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It obviously is. It's very bad. And it's bad with anything, right? And so, yeah, it's exactly it. And what's the surprise again? You write something that dumb? I know it's insane, right? I disagree. I have dual citizenship with Poland and the U.S. It's way more convenient for many reasons. That's fine, but you're not going to run for office. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to have dual citizenship. I'm saying that if you run for public office or if you serve in a foreign military, you shouldn't have citizenship. Like, these are two very, very different things. Like, I'm not saying every single dual citizen has to get deported. That's retarded. No, I'm saying that if you are doing something that requires you to put the best interests of America first, then you need to renounce your citizenship with every other country. This is the most reasonable and common sense position that anybody could ever have.
And so I hate that attitude. It's genocidal. The current claims that I'm a cancer, from Ben Shapiro or whatever, we need to be excised from the body of conservatism is a genocidal position that it basically encourages violence, as they well know. The whole thing I hate. Mm-hmm. So like anytime you say a
selective hearing, these people are bots, just bots.
Group of people is responsible for the sins of some of its members, like I'm out.
Yeah, but that's not my view.
It's not. Okay. So so tell me your views. Like rather than you're one of those people, one of the reasons I wanted to meet you is you're one of those people who is defined by clips.
Yes.
And I'm one of those people also.
Yes.
Right? So I get it. So I'm going to just shut up. And you tell me what you actually believe.
Yeah. Well, and listen, I mean, and I appreciate you saying that because that's just a reality of the media environment we're in. So I don't expect you to know all my views, but I mean, as far as the Jews are concerned, I think that, like I said, you cannot actually divorce Israel and the neocons and all of those things that you talk about from Jewishness, ethnicity, religion, identity. And let me give you like a perfect example. So you say on your show that we need to treat Israel like any other country. And I sort of understand that in principle.
Yeah.
Because Israel is another foreign country.
Yeah.
But Israel is unlike every other country in the sense that because the Jewish people are in a diaspora all over the world, there are significant numbers of Jews in Europe, but also in the United States. And because of their unique heritage and story, which is that they're a stateless people, they're unassimilable, they resist assimilation for thousands of years. And I think that's a good thing. And now they have this territory in Israel. there's a deep religious affection for the state. It's bound up in their identity, the story of the Exodus from Egypt, the promise of the land, all these things. So let's say in the United States, for example, somebody like a Sheldon Adelson, he's not Israeli. Is he an ideological neocon? Does he believe in the promise of democratic globalism? I don't think necessarily. His heart is in Israel. And it's because he is a proud Jewish person. And I guess what I'm saying is that if you are a Jewish person in America, you're sort of, and again, it's not because they're born, but it's sort of a rational self-interest politically to say, I'm a minority. I'm a religious ethnic minority. This is not really my home.
See, this is what I was always worried about with identity politics, is that when the identity politics started, that eventually everybody would start playing the game. And I think that what you're seeing now is you're seeing a lot of people that are white that are also playing the identity politics game. And I think that that's really kind of what, I think that's what Nick Fuentes represents in a pretty big way. What's his point? That basically identity politics is a game, and by not playing it, you're losing. And because of that, he's advocating for white people and for Christians or to also play into identity politics. That's basically what he's saying. Just like, I can see where he's saying, I fucking hate identity politics, but he is right that I don't think that there's any way that people are going to get away from it.
My ancestral home is in Israel. Mm-hmm. There's like a natural affinity that Jews have for Israel. And I would say on top of that, the international Jewish community. They're extremely organized. And many of them are critical of Israel or Israel's current government or the project of Israel. But I guess what they have in common, unlike, let's say, like Singapore, for example, is that they have this international community across borders, extremely organized, that is putting the interests of themselves before the interests of their home country. And there's no other country that has a similar arrangement like that. No other country has a strong identity like that, this religious blood and soil conviction, this history of being in the diaspora, stateless, wandering, persecuted, and in particular, the historic animosity between the Jewish people and the Europeans. They hate the Romans because the Romans destroyed the temple. That's why Eric Weinstein goes to the Arch of Titus and gives it the finger and takes a picture. We don't think like that as Americans and white people. We don't think about the Roman Empire in 2,000 years ago. They do. And so...
See, this is, bro, like, see, now we're going to have identity politics with everything. Like, I'm telling you, like, this is exactly where things are going. Is that you are going to have... I do think that you're going to have white people identity politics in less than 5 years. It's got worse? Yeah, I absolutely think so.
I guess that's really...
You've already had it, bro? No, I'm talking about it being out. Like, it's been implied. There's been a long time that it's been kind of just like... yeah, I would say it's been implied, or it's been kind of begging the question of it, but never stated. I think that we already do. No. No, not compared to what I think is going to happen. The whole thing sounds icky. I'm not a big fan of identity politics, but I can see why people feel like if they don't play the identity politics game, the people that do will win. It's a very bad situation, to be honest. What do you mean by white people identity politics? Well, so what I mean by that is that white people expressing own group preference for people inside of, like, let's say their ethnic group at a extremely high ratio, similar to what minorities experience as own group preference as well. And so, for example, white people choosing to pick white people being more willing to say that a white person isn't guilty of a crime, things like that. That's what I think. That's where I think things are going. White guy DEI, yeah.
I don't think that's me saying the Jews. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's me being hateful. I don't think that's me being collectivist. I think that's understanding that identity politics, whether you love it or hate it, whatever you feel about it, It's a reality that we live in a world of Jews and Christians, of whites and blacks. These identities mean something to us and they mean things to each other, and we can't sort of wish them away. And it feels like white people and Christians are the only ones that do that.
And I think that's the reason why so much of this identity politics stuff has grown bigger. And I think it will continue getting even bigger too. Just a second. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to keep growing, and it's going to keep getting more and more and more popular. And I'm trying to see if there's any more of these here that I've missed out on, etc. And okay, here we go. We got one more. And let's see here. Not only bigger, but worse. Well, I don't know. I should Twitter under review. I changed my profile picture. That's why. So, yeah. And the enemy of the Christians is radical Islam, not Judaism. I'm not gonna. I don't want to argue about that. Like, this is some religious conflict. I'm not going to be involved. I'm not a particularly religious guy. Okay, so you're coming at me with the wrong thing. But my point is that white identity politics. How would you fix identity politics? I don't think that you really ever can. But I think that the best way to do it is to provide an abundance of resources for people to the best degree possible. And the more that people are able to just think about their own shit, they're not going to be thinking about other people's shit. So that's my general outlook on it, is that keep people distracted by keeping their lives relatively pleasant, enjoyable, without necessarily condemning them or making them live in like shitty houses. So that's a slop answer. Well, it's not though, right? Because if somebody is occupied with their own life, they're not going to be thinking about and angry about a bunch of other fucking people. Most people that have had some like bad experience or something like that, or that are very into this, many of them don't have a lot of resources. I think that resources are a huge component to this. And I think also elevating different groups, like through different types of representation, works against that. So like, for example, like in my opinion, I think we had less racism in like 2004, minus like maybe I guess probably Arabs because of 9/11. But minus that, we had less racism, less genuine racism than we do now. I think now we have way more racism. And the reason why is because people were treated generally the same. You could make jokes about different stuff and people knew that it was being done in good faith. But whenever you had the inmates take over the asylum, that's really what it is. So yeah. Tropic Thunder was peak society? Yes, Tropic Thunder was the pinnacle. Everything before that was leading up to it. Everything after that was falling off of it. That was it. Hasn't identity politics more or less just been part of history? It has. It always will be part of it. But I think that like you can solve a lot of identity problems through class-based solutions. Does that make sense? So like, for example, like I don't agree with affirmative action based off of race. Like, so for example, like just because you're black, I don't think that you should get any advantage in a hiring process or in a scholarship process or in a college application process. Now, I view that with women, Asian, Indian, anything like that, right? Everybody should be treated the exact same. However, I do think that if you're from an underprivileged family, for example, like you have less money, I think that is a tangible thing that can be quantified and you can say this is a genuine disadvantage and we need to give these people a little bit extra help. And I think that those tangible advantages will disproportionately help minorities like black people. Like they would disproportionately help black people way more than they would help white people, at least per capita. But does that make it a bad system? No, it doesn't. It's the same as having a law. If a law arrests a lot of people of a certain demographic, that doesn't make the law bad or racist. No, it doesn't. It's the same as this. Just because you have a system that benefits one group of people, you should look at what the intent of the system is and is the idea good rather than is the group of people that it affects good. That's the big problem. So that's the way that I look at it. So I agree with that kind of identity politics in a way, but I think that, again, if you approach it from a class-based perspective, you can nerf identity politics in a big way. I think that you will never get rid of it, but you can make it less consequential. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? It means they should stop being criminals? Well, yeah, exactly. Right? I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, if you do a bunch of arrests and you're arresting everybody for shoplifting, I don't care if every person you arrest is Mexican, white, black, or Indian, or Asian. If every single one of them is one of these races, then they all still stole shit and they should go to jail. It's that simple. So it doesn't matter really kind of what the results are demographically for a change. You should look at what the change is, and does the change lead to a more harmonious and a better society? And if the answer to that is yes, then you should apply the change regardless of who it affects. We kind of went full retard. Yeah, it's basically like people are using inverse logic to determine whether ideas are good or not. As a naturalized citizen, totally agree. Yeah, of course. If you do it by money only, it catches people that are fallen on hard times, not leaving some behind because of their color. Well, it depends, right? I mean, I think that falling on hard times is very quantifiably bad. Color is less quantifiably bad. I do think that, like, for example, like minorities, especially blacks, have had systematic, like there are ripple effects of systematic racism that the black community experiences even today. I think this is true. I know this is going to be an argument. A lot of people are going to disagree with this, but I do think that it's legitimately true. But I think that the way that you solve those problems, the way that you deal with that, is that you approach them from a class-based perspective. Because some families are more affected by it than others, and there are other white families that have the basically same problem, but it's just in reverse. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? So, like, Asians get a lot worse overcoded? Yeah. I mean, tooth bombs in the chat ain't ready for it? Yeah, exactly. Are Indians Asians? It depends, right? And so that's really the way that I would look at everything. It was almost an overcorrection. Yeah, I think it was an overcorrection in a lot of ways. Absolutely. Race is a correlated statistic for class. Yeah, well, I mean, and I think that really things like that should be class-based. So I'm not against the idea of affirmative action. I'm just against the idea of it being race-based. That's all. Or gender-based or sex-based, right? Or sexuality-based, excuse me. Marxism is showing. It's not Marxism to think that people that are poor should have a little bit of a help. I think the fact is that that is the American dream. That is fun. And if you don't let people be able to pursue that, I think that you have a sick society. You have a society that are, you know, there are a lot of societies in other countries that are like this, and I don't want to live there. Is that socialism? Social security, you could say, is socialism. The idea that something is bad categorically because you could describe it as socialism is lazy, brain-dead thinking. You should look at what a system is this system beneficial or not, rather than tying your beliefs to a preconceived notion of a blanket term. That's what I think. Let's keep going.
How do you explain Mike Huckabee, Ted Cruz, and there are a lot like that, John Bolton. I mean, I've known them all. George W. Bush, like Karl Rove. I mean, all people I know personally who I've seen like be seized by this brain virus, and they're not Jewish. Most of them are self-described Christians, and then the Christian Zionists who are, well, Christian Zionists. Like, what is that?
Right.
And I could just say for myself,
it's a perversion of their religion, I think. It's people that think that, Jews are God's chosen people or something like that, and that's the reason why. I think that even the concept that God has a chosen people, no, he does not. This is sick. It is a sick mentality. It is a sick mentality that can be used to justify infinitely many horrible things. And if you just look at history, you'll see that I've been right about that every single time.
I dislike them more than anybody. Because like,
they're imposters.
What? Because it's Christian heresy, and I'm offended by that as a Christian.
It is.
That's why. So I don't, like, why not? Like, I'm pissed at
heresy,
the neocons,
brother.
Very pissed. I've said that a million times. I've been mad since December of 2003 when I went to Iraq. And so, like, I went and asked straightforward questions to Ted Cruz, because that seemed like there's a sitting
Ted Cruz is totally captured by this. It's very disappointing.
Who's like serving for Israel by his own description. He seemed like a worthy target. I'm not going after MTG, who's like the most sincere. Like, why not go after Ted Cruz? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think he's right about that. Yeah, Ted Cruz definitely cucks too much for Israel. It's pretty fucking obvious. I can't see how anybody would see otherwise, if you want me to be totally real, right? They have evidence against them? Maybe, I don't know, right? I have no idea. The Bible literally specifies in the New Testament, abolish the chosen people logic. There's no Jew or Gentile. It's written in the New Testament. These Christians don't read the Bible. Well, I don't know whether it is or not. Oh, what is this? Autists, when a 2.5-hour Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes interview drops.
popcorn, soda, pickled garlic. Hurry, honey! Hit the remote. This is gonna be great! So exciting!
Oh boy! Yeah! Oh God. Bro, a VHS tape. It's been a while, right? And let me see if I can find a few more of these here. And all right, we'll do okay, we'll do 2 more. How about that? 2 more.
Not expressing, and I just
That's
view
the
that
beauty
as like,
of it.
I see the way I look at it is like when you look at your favorite TV shows,
Right?
The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, it's like the wife is the villain because it's like the main character, if the wife could just get out of the way, would be running the show. And that's kind of how I feel like Ayn Rand, I agree with her about this. She said that the wife's role, the hero, the guy is supposed to be the entrepreneur, the conqueror, whatever. And the woman is really supposed to support the man's goals and be in his world. And I've
that's the
felt
last thing successful men need is more power worship, more hero worship, more, you're so great. When you get that at work, you don't want that at home. You become an unbearable asshole. And then you fall prey to what destroys every successful man, which is hubris. Like you mistake yourself for God. You need someone who's not interested in what you do at all, only interested in you. And that's how you become balanced and wise. That's how you know your own limits. Because the ass kissing is what kills.
I think this is something where both people are right. Where, like, I think what Tucker Carlson is saying is true. Where, like, you get delusional if you just have people only gassing you up. But I think it's also good to have your wife or just, I mean, it's not even just about a wife. I mean, I think a husband should be supportive to his wife too, right? It's just a different dynamic. I think it's both of these things are true.
It's not, I mean, you had someone come to murder you at home. It doesn't seem to have affected you that much.
And if I were married, dude, she would never let me hear the end of it.
Well, that's probably true, but that's not what destroys men. It's not adversity that destroys men. It's comfort and flattery that destroys men.
Man. I was just thinking of something that happened recently.
Right? That's what happened to King David. It's what happens to them all.
Yeah.
You're so great. You can never go wrong.
I just feel like we have I don't feel like we have an abundance of affection from women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in terms of where the pendulum is at, I feel like the women are very unloving to the men.
Damn.
That's why they don't cook. Because that's like the best way to express a love for a man. I said this on my show the other night. I'm like, the most beautiful words a woman could say is like, I made you dinner. I made you cookies.
Yeah.
Because that is like an act of love.
Oh,
and
man.
I think that, you know, speaking as maybe from a different generation, the way that men feel now is...
No, I will tell you this, right, is that... I don't know if I should share this story. I'm going to just share this story. So anyway, there was this one girl that I was talking to, and she was from another country. It was an Asian country. And she said that if she came to America, that she'd cook me steaks every day. And I thought she was lying. And then she actually, she would show me, that she'd cook stuff every single day. Now, obviously, this never worked out. Nothing happened. But, of course. Can you believe that? But I was just like, wait, what the fuck? Is this real? No, this was another one. And you guys don't know about this one. And so this is, a normal person, right? And I was like, wait, is this, there's no way this is like a legit thing, right? Because I didn't believe that. The quickest man a man's heart is through his stomach. I mean, I don't know, whenever, I just like eating out, so I usually just take them out to eat. About where do you want to go? The only problem is if they want to go to some nasty ass fucking shithole that sells sushi or something stupid like that. That's the only thing that sucks. Yeah, like eating out. Yeah, exactly. I like going to restaurants. Fucking go I don't know, Golden Corral, right? Fucking I don't know, a KFC. Texas Roadhouse.
You know, women are not really providing too
What's wrong
much.
with sushi? It's fucking disgusting. It's fucking no.
They expect so much from the men. They want the man to be rich and provide.
Yeah.
Yep.
They want the man to be fit and a real leader and a real man. They also want to split the chores with the man. They want the man to do half the laundry and half the dishes and things like that. And it's like, So what do you do all day? You're on TikTok, you're like doom scrolling and eating Cheetos? Like what actually are you providing in the relationship? So I just feel like in terms of the deficit, it's like women.
See, we gotta get those robot waifus real quick.
Are very
we gotta get this locked
emboldened. In. They're too, I think, assertive, always giving their opinions, always critiquing, always. I think that they're very bold right now, and I think and sarcastic.
Yeah, there was one that she told me that she says, I'm like, whenever we go out, you don't really talk at all. And she's like, well, whenever I'm out on a date with a man, I just, I figure he doesn't really want to talk to me, and I'll just wait until I'm spoken to talk. And I'm like, wow. Like, what? Wait, what? I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I think that's a big reason why they're not very attractive.
That's a slave?
I get it. All I would say is that in
Was
a happy
that easy?
marriage, all of that goes away. There's no arguing about who does what. People fall seamlessly into the roles they were born into. They acknowledge those, are not insecure about it at all. They express love in a whole bunch of different ways by serving each other. It's like super easy. And all of that, obnoxious, entitled, you don't make enough money, all that crap just disappears. Anyway.
I think he's probably right about that. I mean, you've got to have somebody that's a teammate, not a fangirl, right? I think that's definitely it. Absolutely, for sure. And this is the old one. Tucker Carlson says pornography is not just sabotaging homosexual relations, it's making people gay and trans. I want to keep this in mind. We still have 3 more years of this shit until the next election. And then after that election, 4 more years of that shit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a whole lot. We already have a king? Yeah, but maybe there might be an uprising against the king in 2028, right? And so we might have to defend the king, obviously, right? Right, guys?
And so something that is almost never talked about is that this is a generation that's totally sexually dysfunctional, I think, because of pornography. And some people are able to cope with it. Some people don't have a problem. But I think a lot of people, and maybe even a small minority, have a serious problem with it. And
how does it make people sexually dysfunctional?
I think that it's impossible for a real woman to compete with the availability and the novelty of pornography. A real woman...
2D is greater than 3D. I've heard this before.
Like without getting graphic, she's only one person, and, she's... Yep. Maybe she wants to do something sexual, maybe she doesn't. Porn is, you could have 100 different women in one sitting doing anything that whatever niche or idiosyncratic thing a person might be into, it's there.
Yeah.
And so I think that...
And they can have cat ears. True.
Novelty combined with that availability, it makes it so that...
Man.
When you think about courting a woman, juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Jesus.
And so there's like also a problem of like erectile dysfunction, people that can't enjoy regular sex because it does not compare to the intensity, the novelty, and the availability of porn. It's
Man, that is crazy. Remember what I was telling you guys? I wasn't joking, but y'all thought I was joking about people that could only be attracted to animals that don't exist. Remember whenever I would say that all the time and everybody would be laughing? There's not as many people laughing anymore, are they? There's more people agreeing.
Hyper stimulation. And so I think that's sabotaging a lot of normal sexual relationships.
It seems like it's making a lot of people gay, too.
Yeah, and trans.
You think that's true?
100%.
What is that?
I think that the novelty is a huge part of that. I think that if you are somebody that uses pornography multiple times per day, which many people do.
Actually?
Yeah, so you get bored of like one thing and then you want to do something else. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a lot of jerking off.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
No.
Actually?
Oh, absolutely.
That's a lot of jerking off.
It's a huge problem.
This might be one of the best interviews. I gotta tell you guys. This might be one of those top 10s. Whoa!
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're doing that multiple times a day, every day, for years, since you're a kid,
yeah.
Well, eventually you get bored, and you want to move on to something more extreme.
Yeah.
And you're kind of it operates, I think, similar.
Let me guess, psychopaths killing animals and killing people?
To like a drug, you kind of have the same kind of resistance to it, that you would to a drug, or tolerance for it. And you're always chasing that initial feeling the first time you used it, or the first time you saw a certain thing. And I think eventually you just chase more taboo, more transgressive. And I think maybe some people are more prone to that than other people, going in a really extreme direction.
How Charlie Sheen got AIDS, actually.
Yeah.
Through just being jaded and looking for something more transgressive. That's just a fact.
And there's something, too, about what it does when you look at it. Because people don't realize that it is a fundamentally different experience being involved in intercourse versus watching other people have intercourse. I think that actually does something to you.
I'm not sure, but
Tell me, what do you mean?
I think that, you know, for example, I think Steve Saylor has written about this, that there's multiple kinds of transsexuals. And he says that one kind of transsexual is somebody that likes the idea of seeing themselves as a woman. It's autogynephilia.
Yes.
And I think that, you know, one of the theories for that is you watch a man having sex with a woman that isn't you so much, you kind of achieve an identity with the woman in like a weird, sick way. You almost identify with the woman.
Oh, shit.
And so there's weird things that happen when you're watching that and having such strong emotional and...
I haven't had that happen yet.
Sexual experiences with it.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet, bro. Like, yeah, that's. I mean, maybe, right? I mean, I don't know. That's some Freudian logic. I mean, there's, you know, I'm sure there's logic attached to it for sure. But, man, that is just already has 8.8 million views with 69K likes. Oh my God, man, wow, that is insane. Oh, I've already seen this. Yeah, I looked at it before. But I just want to make sure I didn't miss any of the other ones. Watching women get fucked is feminization. That's not what he said. That's not what we said. Just learn how to read, bro. Learn how to read. Learn how to think. And I think regarding the man-woman dynamic is a big thing that's being overlooked and by women in modern society to provide to make ends meet. Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, I think so. But thanks, Nick. Now I'm going to go jerk off. Yeah, exactly. I'm actually going to probably go chill and do some other shit. It's actually getting kind of late for me. I'm going to do a few other things. But have you heard of marital debt? I've never heard of marital debt at all. I think tomorrow we might play something to hang out, do some other shit. But I did want to watch this and just kind of chill and do some other random stuff. I honestly, I feel like I've been fucking tired about like waking up every day. I don't know why. But hopefully I can get some more sleep today. And yeah, I took a nap yesterday. New Valkyrie clip. Don't tell me there's even more of this right whenever I'm about to go to whenever I'm about to go to sleep. I'm about to stop. Like I can hang out and talk for a few minutes, right? It's not like I'm totally out on it. But let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Oh my God, give me a minute. I think. No, Jesus. I'll look at this later on, bro. Like I don't want to get to. I don't want to look at this right now. Yeah, no Dino Boy demo. I didn't know if the demo was out. I saw the guy tweet about it. I didn't know the demo was out. Yeah, I have no idea. I slept a bit during the stream. Well, thanks, man. I didn't know it was that boring. But yeah, I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. Let me go back. Save New World. I think it might be cooked, man. It might just be cooked. That's it. It's, you know, it is what it is. Nice stream. Thanks for your entertainment. Yeah, I hope people enjoyed and you know, like I thought it was really I thought it was a really good time. You know, it was. And there's another story of Miskiff. Okay, we'll get to that tomorrow. We'll get to all these tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna just line.
Yo, what's good?
I'm gonna just line them up, get them all set up, and that way, you know, we're gonna have all this stuff ready to go.
Back.
You know, even more drama.
I like drama.
Everyone DMing me apologizing. Wait, what happened with Tectone? Apologizing for what?
Tectone, yeah, facts.
Oh, because they believe Miz whenever they try to, yeah. I think he's talking about people who attacked him because of the attacks on his character and those who fell for it. Yeah, it was bullshit. To everybody DMing me apologizing, y'all are good. Y'all didn't know what I knew and it's not your fault. I was saying things that will make sense soon. I'm glad they do now, but warning, there's a lot more to come that will make you understand how things are still even worse than they appear. So, I mean, I'll just wait and see what you're gonna say, right? I mean, like, they'll fall for his weak ass lies. I mean, again, like, are you gonna go back to covering politics? There's a lot of rabbit holes right now with the government shutdown. If you want me to be honest, I don't really care about the government shutdown at all. Like, it happened whenever I wasn't streaming, and for whatever reason, I don't even know why, or something was going on. And so, like, I don't really know why the government was shut down, and I never really even looked into why. I don't really care. Like, it's just not interesting to me. Yeah, it's probably just some stupid shit. You hear about AGS? I did. I saw it. I looked into all of it. Because it's a Republican L. It probably is, honestly. Like, if I had to guess, I bet it's probably the Republicans' fault that it's shut down. Like, I'm not sure, but if I had to like, oh, whose fault do you think it is? I'd say probably it's the Republicans because they control everything. They say it's not. I mean, I don't know, like, but like that's just what I would guess. Snap's gonna be cut next month. Yeah, of course it will be. I mean, that's what they're gonna do. I mean, it's not really a big surprise. Them's aren't on a clean road. I'm not saying anybody's perfect, right? It literally has to be the Republicans' fault. I don't really, like, again, I don't really know. No more food stamps. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad for a lot of those people, and it's sad because I think that people get food stamps, but you know, it's how it is. There's an emergency $6 billion fund so people can get fed. Yeah, that's probably only gonna last like a month or so, right? But yeah, I mean, I just think in general let me see if I read this. The shutdown is because pissed we cut a bunch of foreign aid programs. Like, I can't believe anything that people say because everybody just lies. Everybody just lies, bro. Like, they all just lie. Like, I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think that we should give any medical care to, like, illegals other than, like, life-saving care at the current time. And I think that somebody should have to provide proof of citizenship or some sort of identity whenever they go into a doctor's office or an emergency room. And if they're not a documented citizen, they shouldn't be here. We just deport them. We take them from the hospital and we put them on a plane and send them back. That's what I would say. I mean, I can't see why you wouldn't do that. Like, why would you not do that? It doesn't make sense. I don't want to pay for everyone else. Healthcare for illegals. Yeah, we can't even pay for our own people. We don't need to do that. I think we should treat them if they're dying. If not, then just deport. That's why I said life-saving care. Yeah, it's that simple. Doctors should fulfill their Hippocratic oath, and that's it. Well, I mean, like, it's beyond that, right? I mean, obviously, they should take care of somebody. Do you think we should fund someone for life on SNAP or EBT? Yeah. They cut you out of contacts? What is this here? Somebody getting mad about something? If I can find it. Spawn on destroying the left. Here it is. When they get power, they're gonna crush you.
Or you can utterly confront them and defeat them.
And destroy them completely. Destroy everything about them. Put the mayors in jail. Put the governors up on the Insurrection Act for sedition. Put all of the people that were doing the shit in front of the... Isn't it weird how these people self-report by saying it's destroying the left and it's actually just destroying people that don't want to follow the law? The detention centers. It's a little bit of it's a self-report, in my opinion. Prison labor camps, any of them that are violent, authorize the police officers to respond with violence to them immediately. Who would not be in a favorite? I don't even understand. Shut it down.
Completely shut it down.
If you need to, bring in the National Guard. Do whatever you need to do. Look and find out who's funding this. Take those people, charge them with incitement for terrorism, put them in Guantanamo Bay. Like, I'm talking about
do whatever it takes.
They're funding groups that are
do whatever it takes. Take them out.
Towards, like, the government officials. Like, if you're throwing rocks
honestly,
you're shooting guns at federal officers, and you're one of the people that's paying.
If I'm running from the police, I get arrested. If you're hitting police with rocks,
I'm surprised things like this even get any traction.
Right.
At all.
Same here.
But I think that the only way that they can is if it's a law.
Sorry.
Which is what it is. Earth, Old Testament. Absolutely. Get them the fuck out. Yep. That's what I would do. Thank God. Like you traction? Super prison? Yeah. So basically the Republic is dead? No, the Republic is alive. An election was held, and the will of the people is being upheld. And who's mad about this? Authoritarianism? It's not authoritarianism, it's called the law. I'm not trying to invent a new law. I'm saying we apply the existing laws to the people that are breaking them. What I think is funny is, like, I don't even think this is a bad clip at all. It's not even clipped in a bad way. Like, how is anybody disagreeing with this or mad? Justifying destroying the left over a hypothetical scenario? It's not a hypothetical scenario. It's happening right now in Portland. I'm saying it should happen right now, like in Chicago. Like, the people that are trying to, like, protect the illegals in any of these countries, I think that, or any of these cities, that it should happen immediately. This isn't a hypothetical. It's a reality. It's happening right now. Sounds like ISIS logic to me. It's crazy. Don't care, call them fascists. I mean, how many Republicans they try to put in jail? Like, they tried to put Trump in jail for like 34 counts of the same thing. And you can say, well, he was breaking the law. Well, these people are breaking the law too. I mean, I think that if you don't weaponize systems against people that are problematic, then they will weaponize them against you. It's like using nuclear bombs. Like, if you don't use nuclear bombs against one person, you're going to have them used against you. It's that simple. Such a miserable, it's just an insult. Trump supporters, the delusional fantasy, Democrats into power, they're going to have their life destroyed. Biden was in power for 4 years, did absolutely nothing. I mean, I don't really think that's entirely true. I think that a lot of, like, and this is a response to, like, the people that say this. I think that a lot of people who have more conservative values have felt like they haven't been able to express themselves, and they haven't been able to give their opinions on things because the intentional shifting of the Overton window of acceptable speech inside of, like, public discourse has been shifted so far to the left that they're not even able to give their opinions on things. So I think it's very telling, right, whenever somebody like, for example, Nick Fuentes, who's banned on everything, and also Destiny too, by the way, is banned on fucking Twitch, who should have not been banned, is just totally taken out of the entire ecosystem because he said a group of these people that were trans were like animals or something like that because of how they were acting. It wasn't even because of their identity to begin with. But Destiny gets crucified and pilloried for this and removed from the platform completely. And then, ironically, Biden did absolutely nothing, catching and releasing all the illegal aliens. Yeah, he didn't do anything. Like, he let the country get overrun by illegals. And so, And again, all of these viewpoints that I have, like especially with illegal migration, you can look at like this is what Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, and Bernie Sanders were saying in 1990. Like this isn't some kind of like crazy authoritarian, fascist Nazi view. This was the commonly held Democrat position while I was growing up. I didn't change, you did. Saying Biden did nothing as a peak leftist delusion. Well, what I'm saying is like there was an entire ecosystem that suppressed conservative voices that I think that a lot of conservatives tremendously resented. And I think that now the conservative voices are becoming more prevalent. There is a tremendous amount of revenge that is manifesting out of that. And I think obviously it's not good in a lot of ways, but it's understandable. And if you can't understand it, I think that that's not really true. I think you just don't want to. That's about it. Imagine Asma is now on my imaginary Nuremberg trial list. Prosecute these traitors, gonna fucked up treasonous. It's amazing that these people are so it's so delusional. So it's like Nuremberg trials. They did this for the Nazis, by the way, right? And so like, and this is another thing is that like, calling everybody that you disagree with a Nazi is just so fucking overplayed. It's so boring. Nobody cares about it anymore. You have actual neo-Nazis and people aren't taking it seriously because you've watered it down. Wanting to arrest governors and people that are not following federal law, like absolutely you should get rid of that. Like, what do you mean? That's right. Yeah, weakens the word's power. I'm more patriotic about the shithole democracy nation than they are. How can you be patriotic about a democratic nation whenever there was a democratic vote and the vote was overwhelmingly to get rid of illegal migration, and then they're trying to do that, and you have a paramilitary organization that's actively impeding the federal government from doing it, and you have state governments that are empowering those like it's not, how can you even think like it was a democratic decision. Like it was a democratic and a republic decision. Like he won the popular vote as well. Like, so you can't even say like, oh, it's the electoral college. It was both. And like, this was like his number one issue. So it's just, it's shocking for me to see people make these types of arguments. It really is. I don't understand it at all. Yeah, it is crazy. What a bunch of retards. Reminder that it'll never be banned. There's no way this dude has ever had sex. What a weird thing to say. Crazy world where Twitch allows Hassan and Asma, not Tiny. Honestly, like, I don't think anything that I said was crazy there. I mean, destroying people that are actively breaking the law and subverting it and putting federal officers in danger. Like, that's the problem. Wow. This shit's so disgusting. Rhetoric has to be more extreme to counter these demons. Nuremberg, all of them. Leave out the death penalty part, but persecute every last. Leave out the, of course. No, this is actually, and by the way, no, this is actually what I believe. I think that you should counter the amount of people that are like resisting the ICE stuff with overwhelming force, and you should do it like overwhelming, asymmetrical, just completely, just suppressive force. Because ultimately what these people are doing is they're trying to subvert the will of the people, to subvert the will of the federal government, subvert the elections, and subvert the will of the president. And that's, I mean, we voted for this, and now it's time for us to get it. Will that not lead to civil war? No, it won't. There's a few hundred people out there causing problems. Just arrest them. He's half-assing it? I think he's half-assing it. Yeah, he is. And especially, like, you're going to see all of them stop showing up. I agree, but not as a vigilante. Of course not. Of course not. I don't agree with any of that as vigilante. Absolutely not. You've gone on to say you should always support the president, even when Biden was in power. It's not like you've ever gone against them. Well, I don't support, like, I mean, I didn't support Biden's, a lot of his decisions, but I support him as his acting role of the president, right? Anybody who wants the president to fail is, like, I mean, a fucking retard, right? Like, the president failing is horrible. Didn't Trump announce the upcoming Antifa coordinators and funders? Did I miss it? The arrest of them? Well, yeah, but like I want to see it happen. Like I've heard him talking about it, but I want to see it. Right? I mean, I've heard a lot of talk about arrests, but I haven't really seen the arrests. That's what I would say. Do you think a country, there's so many black white supremacists like Myron? I don't know what his viewpoints are and everything. I can't make a decision on that. And Trump is all talk. He doesn't arrest anyone or anything. I agree. I agree that he should do more. I completely agree. Biden was barely a messenger, not a president. I think people are intentionally misunderstanding you, and not that you were not only talking about violent protesters, but all peaceful protesters as well. Well, it's the same reason why they say immigrants whenever people criticize illegal migration and illegal immigrants. It's the intentional misunderstanding, is that these value systems and these viewpoints can only exist inside of an apparatus that is completely inauthentic and a lie. So whenever you actually have these things that are addressed plainly, clearly, obviously, and directly, everybody understands it. But when you play semantic and language games and you mislead people that are not very, literate, you confuse people, right? And so, like, for example, the amount of synonymous usage with illegal migration and illegal aliens versus immigrants. Like, if you're using these terms interchangeably, what you're ending up doing is you're just creating xenophobia, and you're creating a degree of resentment towards legal American immigrants, which I think is disgusting. I don't think you should be doing that. But they're basically laundering and using the reputation of good American immigrants as a justification and collateral for them to justify bringing over a bunch of illegal aliens. So that's basically what it is, number one. And I think number two, you have something like this, right? Where it's like you're talking about a protester. A protester is not throwing a bottle at a police officer. That's a rioter. That's a criminal. That's somebody that needs to be arrested. So people's idea of protesting, like there's this weird narcissistic value that a lot of, I think, people have now, where they think that the more aggrieved they are by something, the more justified they are to behave in ways that are bad. So, like, for example, you have somebody who is really angry about the way that ICE is doing things, and so they're so mad about it, they think that they can go out and, like, get in front of the cars or, like, break the windows or something like that. It's insane. What are your thoughts on Mandami and people saying to deport him? I don't think that you should try to deport Zoran Mandami. I think it's stupid. I mean, like, if there's a reason that you should, I mean, obviously you should follow the law, but, like, it seems like he's a citizen. I think that you can't, the reason why I think it's stupid is that there's a reason why a lot of people are voting for him, and you need to address that reason rather than just trying to cut off the spokesperson for it. It's like, for example, like when they shot Charlie Kirk, like there were a dozen other people, like Nick Fuentes is now here, and like Nick Fuentes is a very, very open, outspoken voice, and it's not like conservatism just went away, right? If anything, it just got more extreme. And so, like, if they get rid of Mandami, you're just going to have the same problem with somebody else. So unless you address it systematically and you look at why are all these people supporting this person that's eating rice with their hands and wants to defund the police and, you know, doesn't want to follow federal law, you should really ask yourself and figure out why that is and address those core reasons rather than just simply arresting the messenger and deporting the messenger. So I don't agree with, I think that New York should be able to have an election, and if they choose to have him as their representative, I think that they have every right to do that. So it's that simple. Yeah, he's a symptom, not a disease. How can you stop big corporations from bribing politicians? It's simple. If you find out they do it, then just kill them. Simple. Like, if you're a politician and you're taking bribes, you get charged for sedition and corruption, and then you get charged with the death penalty, and you're publicly executed. In my perfect world, that's what would happen. Period. And there's a lot of countries that do this, by the way. Let's stop overnight. Yeah, it would. I mean, why would you not do that? Like, I don't even understand. Like, why would you not do that? Like, somebody's taking bribes from a corporation to do things for your country. Why wouldn't you do that? It doesn't make any sense. You're more extreme than usual tonight. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's like the ultimate. That's like the ultimate betrayal, isn't it? To, like, I mean, that's what Judas did to Jesus. Like and that's seen throughout all of history as the ultimate betrayal, is to sell out your friends that trust you for money. So, like, at that point, if that isn't justifiable, then what is? And I'm not saying just do it willy-nilly. It should go through a trial and everything. But why is this completely off the table? It shouldn't be. The corrupt ones who use that law against innocent politicians? Okay, well, the corrupt ones are already using the lack of the laws to be corrupt. I mean, like, you can't use that ruling. I mean, like, there has to be some degree of accountability. Yeah. It's just the baseline. Yeah. Advocating for violence is the best way to create extreme opposition towards yourself. Ethically, we shouldn't kill. Jail is the appropriate punishment. I don't care. You put them in jail forever. That's fine, too. I mean, the killing, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just removing their agency completely forever. Right? I mean, that's fine. Sure. It's insane. You make all these claims, yet turn a blind eye to Republicans doing the very things you're against. It's wild to watch someone so delusional. Do you think that I would want these rules applied only to Democrats? Do you think that? Is that what you think? Google Citizens United? Oh, I know what it is. No, I don't think that. Then why are you saying this? So basically, let me get this straight. I say that I want to have a rule that affects everybody, and then you get mad at me because I'm not talking about Republicans? It doesn't even make sense. What are you even saying? Yeah, I'm just confused. Honestly, more than anything, I'm just confused. Yeah, like what relation does this have at all? Why not charge 5 to 10 years in prison instead of death penalty? Seems like cruel and unjust punishment. Also unlikely to be constitutional. Well, I mean, I don't think it. I think that really, how is betraying and taking advantage of the trust of people that, you know, millions of people that have voted for you, you know, not the pinnacle of betrayal? There's an abundance of corruption happening in the current admin. Plenty of content. I think you're always seeing what you want me to see. So what does that have to do with the conversation that's at hand? So if there's somebody who's corrupt and I say this is what should happen, then I'm making a blanket statement. So it would apply to everybody. Do you understand that? So I'm making this is a blanket statement to anybody. So it doesn't matter what administration they're from. It doesn't matter what party they're in. And this is what I said before. Something is bad because of what it is, not because of who it affects. Like, I'm making a blanket statement across everybody. I'm not saying this for Republicans or Democrats or anything. He doesn't understand it. He just wants you to personally call them a Republican so he can feel better. Yeah, I think it's just probably somebody who, you know, is treason death penalty? Not arguing, just wondering. I can be, I think. I don't know. So a guy betrays the masses. You guys want to put him in prison and pay for his life? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to handle it. There's a lot of ways to... Of the year you taken to people in the UK due to the current situation. It's pretty abstract. Yeah. Lobbying was made easier by the 14th Amendment because corporations could label themselves as persons like an individual. It should be changed. Yeah, Citizens United was bullshit. I think most people agree with that. Yeah. I mean, like, I do agree, but yeah, I mean, this is, and so I don't really ever worry about like people that make like bullshit clips or anything like this, right? It's just people that do this. The reason why they do it is because they can't address the points that I make, so they create points that I didn't make and address those instead. But that's what happens. Okay. Anyway, so it's easier to attack a straw man. Yeah, I guess so. I will. I'll be back. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're gonna do tomorrow, but we'll figure it out then. So anyway, gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all tomorrow. All right, boys. Peace. See ya.
Alright, y'all. I'm gonna set up my own RS on GitHub thing. I can only show y'all so much. Default file location. Okay. That's the part. I need to store in the cache chain.
So it's more like you moving on yourself.
So like I shitted on myself?
Yeah, in that room.
In that room?
Yeah. Or did you just go take a boo-boo?
In what room?
Your room. When you walk in, going towards the bathroom, it smelled like
Boo-boo.
Yep. And or did you just take a boo-boo?
I did take a pretty big boo-boo. But I haven't eaten none today either.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. When you don't eat nothing, that you start to take boo-boos. So it happens to me while I don't eat anything.
But it's like it's getting all that old shit out of me. That's good. You want to get that boo-boo out for you. Sometimes fasting is good for us.
I know.
But drink water. Plenty of water. Stay hydrated. Matter of fact, I have a water in the fridge.
I do. That's why I say I only have one water. Cause I drink water, but I only have one water. And the reason why you see waters on the side
Can you
of
step out there and talk to me?
The reason why you see waters on the side of the box, mine. But you always see one.
No, I see like a 4. I see 3 downstairs right now. I want you to take the wrapper off your water every time. So.
Yeah, I do that. So when I grab me a water, I take the wrapper off and put it next on the side of the box next to the plant. Those 3 waters, those 3 waters with the wrapper on it, not mine.
Okay, let's go to.
Mir? Come here.
Let's see something about food stamps.
Here's the asshole. Here you go.
It's in like what?
It's hitting here. Hit it. That's a lot of that rosin too. And that J Sweet. Need something to ask you.
There's an ashtray right here.
Let me see. The cigarette.
So instead of where you come in, it's like in the
drier side. And I already know what a 0.1 looks like. I'm going to bet this. Let's see. Oh, way off, man. 0.24. Damn. I mean, this is a lot. Damn, bro. You fucking kidding me? Holy shit. Oh, man. I don't want to hear nothing, chat, so I'm going to try to really get this to 0.3. Boom. It's settled. It's settled. All right. All right. Damn, this is a big one, man. This is a fucking big one. Let me just show you what this is. Yo. Whoever the fuck said this thing could do a half gram is a liar, bro. Look at this thing, chat. Look at how filled up that is, bro. That's 0.3. All right, let's see. 0.3. Let's see how this does. God damn. Damn, a dab is so good without a motherfucker telling you 99% of this THC isn't getting absorbed into the lungs. A dab will really hit right, bro. These are all on the white setting. There's no vapor control on this, as there wasn't on my proxy earlier. All right, this buzz. Let's see how this goes. I don't think that vapor looked too different. Oh, okay. It's a heavier feeling dab. Listen, the new peak can easily handle a 0.3, as you can see with all the smoke here, all the vapor here. Easily handle a 0.3. I am still in disbelief that this could do a 0.5, but I think I have to approach it differently than I did this one. Even this one I hit pretty hard. Like, there was definitely spillover with this. Train Man is not wrong. I mean, his number's wrong, 99%, but... Whew. Damn, that was good. Honestly, if I wasn't so many dabs in, I could have kept milking that for a super long time. That was really good. I believe it does have these. Ooh. All right, chat. I need a quick commercial break again, man. I gotta work this one off. Quick commercial break. I'll answer 1-2 more questions, and then we will finish things off with, can the new peak handle a half gram dab? Be right back.
Sprinting, but every breath is hash.
Sprinting, but oh, every breath is hash. Sprinting, but oh, every breath is hash. Sprinting, but oh, every breath is hash. Oh, oh, oh.
Check out my hash. Terps go crazy.
Yeah, that's trash.
Yeah, no problem.
It's a cold Sunday to complain. I hold it in until it rain. I fought demons after fame.
That's delicious.
Hey, Richard. What are you eating?
It's lunch we blended together. It's super processed, but so convenient.
I mean, it's like one more second for a way better experience. You're choosing convenience over quality with that cart, too. Let me explain. The same hash in a jar and a cart is not the same. Many carts use technology that was originally developed for e-cigs more than 20 years ago. This means concentrates have to change to work with this technology, instead of the technology being designed for concentrates. The main difference is that they have to be a thinner liquid, which is why almost all cart material looks the same.
Yeah, but my rosin pod
Is not like the rosin in your jar. Same old technology with a new look. They often have to heat up the rosin to make it thinner, or break it down into select parts. No matter what, you're sacrificing quality for convenience with a cart. For some, convenience and cost matters most, and that's fine, but you should know there is a difference. There's a better way. With the Plus, in just a few seconds, you know what you're smoking, and getting a better concentrate experience. No matter how you're consuming, we just want you to taste and feel how great hash can be, without compromise.
Help me pick a name for my new hype strain.
Yo, let me break down the saga. One gang, one mission, one order. A couple gal want link with the father. Yeah, them say they speak like guava. Watch out, militant. When I'm on the outside, in case some pussy want mix up the drama. But when they see war going over my side, nothing ever look for the nearest one harder. We win that. Bag up and bin that. I never sad song, never sing that. Look at my dogs roll up and then.
How can two strains of cannabis have the same terpene profile but very different aromas? Science time. Historically, we've used terpenes as a catch-all term for many factors of cannabis, including aromas. The scientists at Abstract studied hash rosin and discovered far more depth than previously captured. Their work centered around expanding the map of cannabis chemistry. They used hash because of its ability to preserve flavor and aroma. Through this, they discovered an entirely new category of molecules in cannabis called flavorants. They identified at least 3 new flavorant classes, including tropicanasulfur compounds, canasulfur compounds, heterocyclic compounds, and more. First, they found canasulfur compounds, which produces the dank, the gas, the skunk. Some of these CSCs had never been seen in nature before, but the chemical structure closely resembles that of garlic. Next, they found tropicanasulfur compounds. These produce exotic citrus.
What's going on?
Yeah.
It's vile. It's
okay. So we have the useful idiot too that doesn't have any. He doesn't have a Twitter account. He doesn't know anything. He's just here to not know what's going on. Very confused.
Conspiracy theories are entering a dangerous...
Information is the oxygen of the democracy.
There's so much evidence out there that even if less than 1% is true, that would be enough to collapse the current paradigm and change the whole planet.
What do you think, chat? Do we stop and look at this TPUSA response now, or do we wait till the end of Candace's video? Let me know in the chat. Should we take the pause now and watch the TPUSA? Okay then, Candace. Let's go. And he made none. Remember exactly who was.
Podcast was at that moment. That's fascinating. The people who didn't even know Charlie's been shot pray for him. He says the phone, thinking that my reaction was back in Arizona. What's going on?
Calls Erica this little narrative.
Speak for himself. But again,
theological conversation.
Like Teflon Don, hypocritical.
Why?
Something is deeply wrong here in the conservative movement, because we were led to believe in those days of the campus culture wars.
Response? Yeah, right. We got to watch it now. We got to watch it now.
We got to do a little
got to do a little addressing of a video that went viral this weekend, and it's a video of Charlie.
I can't help but notice that Mikey McCoy is not present, at least in this frame. This is Blake Neff and Andrew Colvett.
Charlie's chief of staff. We made the decision that we wanted to address this head on because, you know, candidly, there's so much intrigue, and I'm gonna do a generous thing. The intrigue is because people care about Charlie. Okay.
Intrigue is a weird choice of words, Andrew.
Okay. So that part I understand.
Outrage might be a better choice of words.
And you're more generous than I'd be.
Yes, and that's fine. And I am going to give you the floor here now, Blake, because you were there and you actually interacted with Mikey. You were with Mikey. You left the scene and then
Where's Mikey? Why is Mikey not in that other chair? Where's Mikey? Why are we having an intermediary that is not Mikey? Mikey's the chief of staff of your company. As far as I'm aware, Mikey is your boss. Mikey could be in that chair, speaking to us directly. But if you need a carefully crafted PR statement, you probably don't want to trust a 24-year-old to do it. Just throwing out my feelings about it. Just my speculation.
Connected with Mikey. So explain what the video is.
All right. I'm not going to
set the scene.
I'm not going to wallow in it at length, but people have. It's gone viral and people have asked us to address it, and we're going to do so briefly. The video, without going way into it, is by, I can't even remember the guy's name. Someone made a video that is attacking Mikey, Charlie's friend, Charlie's chief of staff, a guy all of us know, a guy who we've seen on the show here the last few weeks. They are attacking him, claiming, based on a few seconds of clips, that he allegedly has like a nonchalant or calm reaction to.
So we're going to downplay this. Is that what we're about to do?
Charlie's murder. And I'm just going to be blunt about this. This is a extremely disgusting attack.
Okay, then. I see where this is going.
And I can speak to that because I was there when it happened and I was next to Mikey when it happened. And what I can say is, I can't say every single thing that happened, but I want to talk about this specific narrow thing. That the shooting occurs. I am next to Mikey. Both of us hear a loud crack. We both turn. We both see Charlie, who has been shot. Both of us, I think at about the same time, realize that that means there is a shooter who is on the scene. And, you know, you just hear the crack, so you don't know, did it come from far away? Did it come from close? Is there a mass?
We've already had way too much thought process to fit into Mikey's 0.8 second reaction time. It was a pretty damn fast reaction time.
Shooter unfolding right now. So I and him both had the reaction of, let's get out of here before we're both shot.
That is not the reaction that Mikey had at all.
Shot. That is not us abandoning Charlie. Charlie had a security team. They all...
Which treated him incorrectly, did everything wrong start to finish. Period. That's not my opinion. That's the opinion of an extremely experienced Army Green Beret combat medic. Or rather, Army Green Beret and a combat medic. That elaborated in detail on what every trained security personnel should know about how to treat that gunshot wound that they did not do.
Leapt immediately into action, and they got Charlie out of there, which was
the wrong thing to do. 100% the wrong thing to do. You do not move a patient with an arterial bleed until you have properly treated that wound. And then you do not move a patient with a spinal injury until you have properly addressed that spinal injury. And neither of those things were done. You do not rush him to a hospital. You stop the bleeding, period. That is First Aid 101. That's the ABCs of first aid. That's literally the ABCs of first aid.
Was what their job was to do. My job was not to get in the way and screw this up because, like, I had to be a hero. That was not my job. I remember even running past, both of us going past.
Where's Mikey? No one cares what your job was, bro. Where's Mikey?
the SUV that we came in on, and me thinking, should I get in that car? And then thinking, no, that's a really stupid thing to do. And then I kept going.
Yes, the ABCs is airway, breathing, circulation, meaning if the airway is blocked, first fix that. Make sure their mouth isn't full of debris or vomit or blood or whatever. Make sure there's a clear airway. Make sure their chest is breathing. Make sure their lungs are pumping air. Without that, they will die immediately. Third, circulation. And actually, here's the tricky part. The third is circulation, which is the heart, the circulatory system. You need blood for your brain. If you don't have that, you're going to die immediately. But actually, before the ABCs is hemorrhaging, is arterial bleeding. That is before the ABCs. A lot of people call it the XABCs, as in exsanguination, as in you're going to bleed out if you have an arterial bleed, and you treat that before the airway. And until the exsanguinating bleed, the arterial bleed is dealt with, you don't even deal with the airway. You sure as fuck do not move the patient. Okay? Anyways.
So I was not with Mikey, or I don't remember being with him. I think I was ahead of him as we left. And then we get out, and I run for...
You were ahead of Mikey?
Can't have been more than 15 or 20 seconds. And then I realized there hasn't been another shot, so the shooter has likely been detained or stopped or something, not in immediate danger. I pause, I look around me, and I see Mikey. And I see Mikey there. And truthfully, I will never forget what I saw, because I've seen Mikey almost every day for the past 2 years. I know his personality very well. He's a very bubbly guy. He's a very happy guy almost all of the time. And I'll never forget what I saw, because it was clear in the moment that he was profoundly freaked out. What I'll always remember is the way his lip was quivering, which I'd never seen before.
Yeah, because he's 24. And whatever the hell is going on is a little uncomfortable. This testimony is not doing what bro thinks it's doing.
And you very rarely see from someone that he was freaking out. And then I think he literally said to me, I might be imagining this, but I think what he literally said was, he was looking around, and then he says, I need to call Erica. And then he takes his phone and he begins calling Erica. And I don't want to disclose how that call unfolded, but he did that. Your mind extends all of this, but that is happening within a minute of all of this occurring. I remember he calls Erica. Around the same time, I pull out my phone and I call my mom just to say, Mom, there's been a shooting. You're going to see it on the news. I'm okay. Pray for me. I've got to go. And I remember that call. And around the time I put that phone away, and then he immediately calls his dad. He calls Rob McCoy, and he says, Dad.
So we've just, explained both of the theories that are going around. We hit both of those theories. So check. What are we talking about now?
Someone shot Charlie. You need to call all of your pastor friends. Charlie was hit. We need everyone to pray right now. And that's what he told him.
While he's walking away to the parking lot. How fast were these conversations? Were you there for those conversations, Blake? Because we have video of him walking away to the parking lot on the phone. You were not with him when he walked away to the parking lot on the phone. So are you basing this off of your your experience, or off of what he told you?
And I guess it's very disgusting for me as someone who witnessed this, who saw Mikey hugely distressed and then step up in the moment. Because
step up? You mean step out in the moment, actually, I think. Anyone in their position that can't realize why this looks suspicious and instead jumps to, this is disgusting, you're an idiot. How dumb are you? Of course this is suspicious. And maybe there isn't a rational explanation, but it's still a really dumb strategy to call it disgusting instead of to acknowledge how suspicious it looks. Because we're going to come back to the hole in this whole thing in just a second.
After that call was over, I saw Mikey get total mastery of himself, that he realized he had to step up in this situation. And from that point, he was like a general directing a battle, where he was, grabbing people and saying, okay, we need to.
So this is after he walked away to the parking lot. Did he come back, or what? Is this when he got all the blood on him that wasn't there?
get to the hospital, and we need to...
What? The car was gone. He
Smoking that packet whacker, hacker, whacker, tagger. Smoking packet whacker, 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 whack. Who fuck gonna pull up? Who gonna pull up in my stream? That's crazy. Yeah, people call into the stream. That's crazy. Man, I'm gonna stop this. This is too crazy. Let's go back to the screen.
Was walking away as they loaded him into the car. He had nothing to do with them loading him into the car.
Do these things, and you guys need to wait here. I need to get in here to get information so that I can get it to Erica. And
Well,
when we learned he was dead, he came out and he told us, and then he says, now none of you can say anything that you've heard because Erica is not going to hear about this from anyone except me.
Can I ask a question? I've just been thrown into this.
Guys, what kind of testimony is this? This is them loading Charlie into the car. This video is not going to show enough of it. We want this video. Okay? So, this video is the same time frame as he's being loaded into the car. That is Mikey McCoy back there, walking away. We have it on video. He did not compose himself and come back and get his wits together and start directing everything and say, hey, we need to get him into the car and get him to the hospital, and I'm going to get into the car and take him to the hospital and all that. Like, excuse me?
This 10 minutes ago, but there's a suggestion online that Mikey, Charlie's chief of staff, one of the most sincere people you'd ever meet, brilliant, Christian, kind, everyone he ever met in his entire life, couldn't hurt a fly, was part of a conspiracy to murder Charlie. That's what's going on.
Yeah. It's vile.
Okay, so we have the useful idiot too that doesn't have he doesn't have a Twitter account. He doesn't know anything. He's just here to not know what's going on. He's very confused.
It's utterly vile.
Who would do this?
They didn't brief you before you came on the show, bro?
What type of individual? Just to create content, do we think? Or is there what's the ulterior?
I don't know. I think...
Just to create content?
A lot of this mindset just sort of fuels itself.
No, you fuel it, bro. You and your weird fucking statements fuel it. Every statement that comes out fuels it more and more and more.
It's sort of addictive in the same way a lot of social media stuff is addictive, or in the way like, honestly, something like pornography is addictive or something. Like they get...
Oh. Wow. Y'all a bunch of gooners. Y'all are a bunch of gooners for wanting to know the truth. You fucking gooner, how could you possibly ask who killed Charlie Kirk? How could you possibly want to make sure that we know who killed Charlie Kirk, you damn gooner? Like, what? I did not expect it to be this bad. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad that you guys decided we needed to watch this first, right away.
Really, they almost get a high off of like the idea of like that they're doing.
If anyone in the Twitch chat knows how to clip a Twitch and post it to Twitter, please do. Please clip this shit and post our response to Twitter right now. This is insane.
Something that's daring or out there.
Yeah, and I want to make one other point though. And this is actually to your point.
I am momentarily going to play devil's advocate in a second here and try to make the most rational explanation out of his explanation, and I'll try to explain a version of that side of the story that could explain some of Mikey's actions, and we'll look at what parts still we kind of might have a question about from the devil's advocate perspective, aside from how blatantly weird this is.
You saw Mikey do heroic things that day. I saw Mikey do heroic things. I was not on site, but I immediately flew to Utah. We got a plane. I mean, it's not something that I'm used to, but it was like my wife went with me. We went straight over. I knew I needed to be with Erica and the team immediately just because, you know, I just knew. But that moment when I got the news, I was so shell-shocked. I was not even there, but I was immediately traumatized. My brain fries like an egg. I can't see straight. I can't think straight.
So I pulled out my cell phone and started recording a selfie video of myself so that everyone would know where I was at the moment, just in case. And then I held on to it.
So I'm really trying to set this SSH down here.
I'm making a joke.
All I knew is that, like, what's happening? My wife came in. She, like, hugged me. We started crying together. And I can't even remember those moments very clearly. I wasn't even there. Mikey was two steps
talked
away.
about that.
And I asked him, I was like, do you even remember the moments after? He's like, I can't even really remember. I know I called Erica. I know I called my wife. I know I called my dad. I can't even really remember the steps I took. I can't. But here's the.
I just called my lady.
Grok is
Trying to upload this song, yo. Uploading this song right now, yo. Lou, okay. Okay. Baby, do you trust in me? Same way that I trust in. Cause I don't know what I'll do. Baby, what you want? Okay, let me just I'm gonna show y'all what I'm fucking with. Let me know if y'all like this. Let me know if y'all like the song though. I'm about to play it for y'all on the stream real quick. Alright, I'm about to play it for y'all. This is Soccer Mom.
Is that you, Soccer Mom?
Soccer.
Baby, do you trust in me? Same way that I trust in you. Baby, I can't let you leave. Cause I don't know what I'll do. Met you while I was down bad at my daddy's crib. Ask your name several times, I guess it's heaven sent. From the jump, I never seen you like them other bitches. Caught up in lies, still addicted to the act of cheating. You call me out every time a nigga started slipping. Even my sister's tripping, not knowing I was tweaking. You gave me all my children, they'll never want for nothing. You took the biggest risk on me and still I be frontin' like, baby, do you trust in me? Same way that I trust in you. Baby, I can't let you leave. Cause I don't know what I'll do. That's the truth. Baby, what you want and then I'll do what it do. All these hoes distractions and they looking like fools. I could never switch up like the sun and the moon. Baby, we a pair like a box full of shoes. Wake up in the morning, you my beautiful view. Don't need the news, baby, it's true. Bonnie and Clyde, I'm on the run with you. Soccer. Baby, do you trust in me? Same way that I trust in you. Baby, I can't let you leave. Cause I don't know what I'll do. Baby, what it be? Do you trust in me? Cause that's just what I'll do. In me, baby, I can't let you leave. Cause I don't know what I'll do.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, my nigga. Dang, why was that so gassed though? Why was that so gassed? I don't know why that was so gassed, but that was actually pretty gas. Let's share the wide to the homie. Let's wow. Okay. Chill. Sorry, yo. I really hope my boy Josh joins the stream. Yeah, baby.
What do we need? Do you need anything from the store?
Just seasonings and steak. You said we're making a salad, right?
Yeah, what kind of seasonings do you need?
What ones do we not have? Do we have garlic powder, onion powder?
Just use the steak seasoning. That's all you really need.
All right, I'll just use that one a bunch. We got enough oil to fry them. We're pan frying these steaks.
Yeah, you can use olive oil.
All right, but also let's see what else do I might need. I think that's it. You already got the salad?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a salad dressing, cucumbers. I'm gonna get a juice for the kids.
Alright. Alright, sounds good.
Should I get your dad a pot pie so you can have something different to eat?
Sure.
They got those personal ones. We can't really chew the lettuce. Do you need something to drink?
Nope, I don't need nothing. I mean, yeah, you can get me an extra drink that you ever get the kids.
So some juice?
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna be extremely patient. I promise.
Alright, I'm gonna make some brownies for the kids.
So communicate and be patient. Right there, ain't it?
Alright.
Is that it?
What'd you say?
I'm gonna make some brownies for the kids.
Alright.
What are you doing?
I'm streaming. You can literally Google me and see what I'm doing.
Google you.
Okay, yeah. Alright. Love you.
I see you later, bye.
Alright, bye-bye. Streaming, you can literally Google me. Oh. You can literally Google me. Alright, y'all. What was I doing? Oh yeah, we was playing that song. That song went hard. Key, I ain't gonna hold Jim on back. It was hardcore hairy. I don't know why that shit just hit. That artwork. Okay, 16 by 1600. Okay. Okay, let me upload image. Yes, I have the license and proper rights. All right, let's take out the blur background. We want a solid color background. We want to do it like this. Let's see about that one. See if this one's a little different. I could probably show y'all what I'm doing. I think that might be helpful. Because I'm trying to do something like this. Let me put this one up here. There. I'm trying to fix this one. So it's going to tell me to upload an artwork file. I have the proper rights to use this shit, nigga. This is my picture, nigga. That shit fire. I keep upload every file. No, I want to keep this. Don't shit. That shit gas to me, bro. I like that shit. Okay, whatever you say, bro. That's not a trade, but that's my image. How can I not use my own image? Like, come on the fuck now, bro. Let's go. I released that shit. Run whatever you want through anything. Like, no one's gonna find that image. That's my image. I made that image. That's my love symbol. I own the love symbol. This is my image. It's my father's image. It's a love symbol like that. Like, how can you take that away from me? That does not belong to nobody but me, nigga. I created that. I brought that to the world. Let's go back to the trust. I mean, does it cost to set up a pre-order? Okay. Chill. All right, y'all see it right here. Y'all see I just put it out. Y'all see I just put this bitch out. 28th of October. Hi. Why are you gonna come in here trying to shoot me? Stop. Stop. Okay? Stop. Hey, Hood Rich Pablo Juan's out, y'all. Hey, we gotta hear this song too. We gotta do this. We gotta hear this song right now.
Bitches and they licking. I'm at Honey Kettle eating pancakes and chicken. I got diamonds in my mouth.
I wanna hear this.
Danny, I see you. I think a vibe, sticking and digging outside. She ain't got no way but got thighs. Hop in the coupe and let's ride. I put Chanel on the high. Took her ring for surprise. Maybe back seat that recline. Roll up some cookie, get high.
This that one. This that one. Hey, they gonna ban this stream.
I like me a freaky hoe. She bend over, touch her toes. Steal money over hoe. Throwing money overdose. All the ice make her froze. Chanel cold. Ain't living no hoe. Trap house never closed. That ass look fatter when she come up out them clothes. Ooh, it be like it pancake batter on the stove. Damn, for the too good. Now she tryna be my hoe. I gave her a couple racks and dropped her right off at the stove. I got me a freaky hoe. And she work at Blue Flame. Turn around and fuck her from the back. Play my boo thing. She just love the fuck song. I love when she give me brain. When I stick it in her deep, it look like she in pain. She can get what she wanna get. I'm buying everything. I don't care that she a hoe. She still getting claimed. Put rich, I make it rain. When I force you with my chain. Add titties, both the same. I go down like a crane. I like me a freaky hoe. She bend over, touch her toes. Steal money over hoe. Throwing money overdose. All the ice make her froze. Chanel cold. Ain't loving no hoe. Trap house never closed. That ass look fatter when she come up out them clothes. Ooh, it be like it pancake batter on the stove. Damn, for the too good. Now she
tryna be my hoe. But I gave a couple racks and dropped her right off at the stove. That my freak, that my hoe. TTG, she tryna go. 2 bitches, that my goal. She know how to work that pole. When I fall, she wants some more. Yeah, I just want that though. Pull up in the foreign and I drive it like it's stole. Shout it work at Magic City. I know she a pro. Fuck it up, ain't nothing but some money. Here you go. She swallow when she suck it. Baby, tell me, do you love it? That head looking right down. Girl, I might just cut it. I like me a freaky hoe. She bend over, touch her toes. Steal money overhold. Doing money overdose. All the ice make her froze. Chanel cold. Ain't loving no hoe. Trap house never closed. That ass look fatter when she come up out them clothes. Ooh, whip it like it pancake batter on the stove. Damn, fucked her too good. Now she tryna be my hoe. I gave her a couple racks and dropped her right off at the stove. Too much ice on me, I got a young nigga bro. Are they hating? No, let's smoke it, but they said they want my bros. All I really know is get them bands on the road. I'm just tryna fucking fall in love with no hope. On me, got a young nigga bro. I do what I want, I don't follow trick code. I bought by this Rari, just on AP on road. Oh, type designer on my body, Gucci head to toe. Are they hating? No, they're smoky, but they said they want my bros. Pull up foreign tinted windows, see these bands I'm counting on. Can't see these bands I'm counting on. Fashion over jean, cover a thong. Baby, my wrist, honeycomb. I'm on the road, ain't coming home. She thinking for she got some styrofoam. I was just fucking the red bone. Can you please stop blowing on my phone? Swear I'm way too busy. I just took this jet to Mexico. Racks on me, got plenty skirt. Watch me skirt off in this coat. No spelling, ain't no renty. So much money, I can't even fold. So much but it can fold. All I really know is get them bands on the road. I'm just tryna fucking fall in love with no hope. Too much ice on me, I got a young nigga bro. I bought by this Rari, two-tone AP on road. Oh, type designer on my body, Gucci head to toe. Are they hating? No, they're smoky, but they said they want my bros. Pull up foreign tinted windows, see these bands I'm counting on. Got it bad, young and rich as fuck. I'm a lady, drug, little boy can't get junk. Got the summertime, get me wrong, no. That boy out of luck. Big racks in my bank, can't stop counting up. Damn, shorty bad, and she thick it fuck. She dance, shaking that ass. I just wanna fuck. I get in my bag. I just be counting it up. All I really know is get them bands on the road. That's all I know. Just tryna fucking fall in love with no hope. Can't fall in love. Ice on me, got a young nigga bro. I do what I want, I don't follow trick code. I bought by this Rari, just on AP on road. Oh, type designer on my body, Gucci head to toe. Are they hating? No, they're smoky, but they said they want my bros. Pull up foreign tinted windows, see these bands I'm counting on. Run to the money, I ain't stopping. Chanel color salmon, Cartier with diamonds. I'm afraid don't need no styling. All my nigga wildin', I could claim a proud. I bought her an island, I bought her like 4 rings. I don't know if I could go without you with this codeine. All we do is ball NBA, but we don't trade team.
designer talking to Jesus. Let's watch this.
I am Mighty Key. Bro, it's happening. It's really happening. The announcement is finally here. Halo! Hey, bro, we finally getting a new game. I'm gonna be in that thing like, Halo about to go crazy. You see, this is why Xbox increased Game Pass. It all makes sense, because they're about to release the greatest game in history on us. Announcement starting, it's starting. What is it? Halo 6? Halo 7? Halo Infinite Part 2? Electric Boogaloo?
It's Halo 1.
It's a Halo 1 remake. We're getting Halo 1 for the third time. That's fine, right? Yeah, I mean, I love Halo 1. It's one of the greatest games ever made. It's a masterpiece. I mean, it just means more people can enjoy greatness. Facts. All they gotta do is put that bad boy in 4K, update the graphics, don't change anything else with the game. They added sprinting. Huh? Sprint? Oh, you must be talking about the cellular network, because there's no sprint in Halo 1. That's heresy. Nah, it's fine, bro. It makes sense. More movement is fun. The original game didn't have sprinting. Can't add a new mechanic because it removes the original experience. It's gonna feel more modern. I don't want it to feel modern. I want it to feel like Halo. But whatever. Whatever.
Hey, y'all give him a like.
Just as long as they don't mess with the Warthog has extra seats. Why would they mess with perfection? Why? It's fine, it makes sense. It's 4-player co-op. You gotta have extra seats. Adding sprinting and changing up the sacred Warthog? That's egregious. Only good news is, they really can't do nothing else to make it worse. Halo's coming to PS5. Wake up, you're gonna be okay, bro. You're gonna be all right, man. Wake up. You're gonna be fine, all right? How many fingers am I holding up? Cookies. We're gonna need an ambulance. What's the problem? Just means more people can enjoy greatness. Oh no, not you. I guess when Phil Spencer said only 4 games going to PlayStation, he meant only 4 that year. And for the future, we getting them all. Oh God, this can't be happening. Forgive me for my arrogance, but y'all saw what I did to Sega, right? Now look what I'm about to do to you. Gears of War was hard enough, but now Halo? What's the point of having an Xbox now? Brother, I am Xbox now. I'm paying $1,000 for a handheld just for my system to play the same games. That's unforgivable. You go away. Go away to your games about reluctant father figures and their journey with children. Y'all waiting for Halo, but got Halo 1 a third time. When they said Halo Infinite, they meant it, boy. You ain't getting nothing else. This can't be the end of Xbox. It just can't be. Oh, Xbox is still alive. It's just living in my system. Goodbye, bitch boy. These console wars are so dumb. Y'all lost to me so long ago. Is he gone? Yeah, he's gone, man. Hey, look. As bad as things look for Xbox, and boy do they look bad, at least I know I can find some solace in the fact we can stomp on noobs again in Halo 1. Multiplayer about to go crazy, right? Right?
Or that's just crazy.
Yes. Hi. Oh man.
30% profit margin. Lock that into your brain because it's what we're talking about today, because it's the number that is destroying Xbox right now. And that's because Microsoft demands that Xbox hits this target every single year. But here is the thing. The games industry is not the enterprise software as a service industry. And that basically means that Phil, Sarah, and the squad are dragging a humongous anchor. One that their competitors don't have to, and if they struggle, they know it's going to be bad. Today's story exists because we finally know why Xbox has been burning everything to the ground. And to understand that, here's what the old Xbox was like according to Bloomberg. Game makers weren't asked to hit specific numerical targets. They were told to focus on making the best games possible without worrying too much about finances. So that Xbox, the Xbox that wanted to compete, for its space in this industry, it is dead. The new Xbox, well, it is a profit machine that will destroy just about everything to hit its 30% target. That could be your favorite studio. It could be that game you're waiting for. It could be the entire concept of exclusive games. All of these sacrificed for one impossible goal set 2 years ago by their owners at Microsoft. Now, while all that's going on, I'm learning a touch of Dutch because I play WoW with Dutch people. I love the place, love my time there, especially in Efteling. And today's sponsor, Babbel, is how I am learning. It's an award-winning app that makes learning a new language simple and effective. So with Babbel, you can learn Dutch, German, French, and way more. And their courses are created by over 200 language experts. So it's basically like having a private tutor in your pocket on the app. And my favorite part is you can practice conversations with an amazingly well-implemented AI partner. And that means you can basically just have a big old chat and build up your experience. Really cool. It's dynamic. Now, Babbel has got over 25 million subscriptions sold. They've got 92% of users saying they're improving their proficiency level in just 2 months. And after using Babbel, after I've ordered a coffee, I can say, "Thank you, Vel," without looking like I'm a bit silly. So, Babbler. To get a bit of tone in this, I need to go back to something from 2021. You see, then, Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, allegedly considered closing down Xbox, just stopping, getting out of games. Now, for what it's worth, Microsoft does deny this, but we do know something important, that even in 2020, Nadella was working out ways to increase Xbox's value to Microsoft. Now, this wasn't happening in a vacuum, and sometimes opportunities just happen to land in your lap, such as, well, Activision. And Bobby Kotick tells the story here. In 2020, Bobby reached out to his good mate Satya to help to buy TikTok. But rather than buy the brain rot machine, Nadella pulled Uno reverse and said, how about we buy you instead? And of course, 2 years later, Kotick was ready to sell, and they sorted out a deal within 3 days that was worth $75.4 billion. And as 2023 closed, the real chaos started. And people expected some staff reductions at ABK from the merger. What they got was 1,900 people fired in one round, which was 8% of the new Xbox, and as we go on to find out, it was just the beginning of the roller coaster. The last 2 years have been goddamn brutal. Thousands of staff are gone, studios like The Initiative and Tango Gameworks have been shuttered or sold, projects cancelled left and right, and all of that is before the price hikes. The consoles cost more, Games Pass costs way more. Everything costs more. Even though, throughout all of this, Phil Spencer and his team kept saying the same thing. Quote, "We have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger." And that really didn't make sense to us, given everything else that we saw. I mean, how could Xbox be at its best ever while having to make humongous cuts to its staffing? Well, now we've got the answer. It comes from one decision that was made in 2023, and it comes from a new character to this story. Full credit to Bloomberg for getting the scoop on this. And here's the story. Since autumn 2023, Microsoft Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood had set a target for Xbox, and that was that they must maintain a 30%, quote, accountability margin. Yes, an accountability margin. So, if you don't hit that, you're in deep trouble. And what that basically means is that it's Microsoft's term for profit margin on individual segments within the business. And here's the simple version. Whatever revenue Xbox makes from consoles, games, and subscriptions, the cost of doing that has got to be 30% less than what they bring in. And look, that is how big companies work. If you're not making profit, you're an Ubisoft. And then investors do start getting a little bit itchy, thinking about, should we do a hostile takeover? Should we, do some private equity and gut you like a fish? Of course, even in gaming, you do actually need enough profit that one bad game won't literally kill your whole company, or that one failed deal won't do similar. Looking at you, Embracer Group. But here's the problem. A 30% margin on first-party game services is very much where eyebrows go up. And to get a handle on that, I want you to take a guess. What do you think Nintendo's profit margin is? What do you think PlayStation's profit margin is? Have a number in your head, and I'll tell you in a moment. But first, we need to talk about what this target has done to Xbox, because it does explain everything. Every quarter, Xbox leadership looks at their results, and if they don't see a 30% profit margin, they have a simple equation to balance. cut things to get the margin. In Microsoft's eyes, Xbox is a group that is spending more than they are making, and that needs to change. That means less spending on staff. That means cancel support for third-party studios, like, say, the Romeros, who just got utterly fucked, right? Awful stuff. This is them literally being forced to break contracts with studios that have hired and paid for staff based on those active contracts. Crazy stuff. There have been cancelled projects that Xbox leadership loved, like ZeniMax's Project Blackbird. And the reason why is that they won't generate profits in the short term. Now, you might be able to understand that if you just try to juice your margin in the short term, it probably means you're underinvesting in your future. And that can mean you get outcompeted over time. And this is actually one of the reasons why competition is a good thing, because competition actually exists to decrease profit margins by forcing companies to spend more money fighting for their consumers, and that's why we, the consumers, are supposed to win. I mean, hell, the games industry is one built off loss leaders. Loss leaders are obviously something they can't have anymore. As an example, dev kits for AAA companies are not sold at a loss. They just increase the price humongously. For reporting houses, it's the same deal. Now, the good news is that indies can still get free dev kits from their ID at Xbox program, but those big corporate spends of trying to help their partners develop good shit for their platform, well, those are now a lot more expensive for the developers and publishers. Basically, Xbox's spending has got to change every year so that it stays within that tight 30% margin target. And it's all because of this mandate set by Amy Hood 2 years ago. And for this, the timing and the context matters, because everything changed around the time of the big acquisition. The date is the most important thing here, and it is fall 2023. That is right when the Activision Blizzard acquisition closed. And we've talked about this idea before, that the spending on the deal got Microsoft to actually pay attention to Xbox. Now, in some ways, that was good stuff. They now get Call of Duty money, but, 75 billion deal value. That's quite a lot of billions. But that's not the only thing that happened, because from 2023, Microsoft got really excited about AI, and that meant they started regretting something. They kind of wished that that Activision Blizzard King money was going into funding more data centers. And the Bloomberg report does reinforce this, because before that date, teams did not worry about hitting arbitrary performance targets. The notion of investing a lot of money now in something that would get more money later was, a healthy enough thing at the company. But then there was a corporate shift in how the business was ran and how it produced games. And here's a curious thing. It comes from Ethan Gatch writing for Kotaku, and he noticed a parallel. That Activision's operating margin was 32% the quarter before the deal closed. Did Microsoft just look at that and think, oh, if Activision can do it, we can as well? Which of course would be an insane thing, because Activision was, in many ways, Bobby's finely oiled Call of Duty machine. So of course it was designed to be pretty damn profitable. It's a little bit different from being a first-party player in the industry. Though I need to note that there's a lot of looseness in how margins even get calculated, and that's because operating margin doesn't always include non-product spending. That means things like tax. But take a look at some of these numbers. In 2022, Activision's net income versus total revenue was 20%. In 2021, it was 31%. And it fluctuated between 20 and 30% in prior years. You can almost connect the dots where Microsoft looks at their new acquisition with an incredibly high profit margin, and then they look at their existing game division and think, we expect more. And in some ways, yeah, sure, look at they screwed Halo and screwed so many things since the Xbox One era. But look, you can say a lot about Bobby Kotick's Activision Blizzard. You really can, and I have. But above all else, I think we can all agree it was a finely tuned money-making machine. It wasn't a finely tuned game-making machine because, let's be real, they made fewer and fewer different franchises as time went on. They essentially optimized everything into the things that they were running that did appear to be working well. And coming off the COVID boom especially, they basically found themselves with live service games that were massive money spinners. But they also had not been investing much in new games for the long-term future, because that's not what they, as a third party, were optimized for. But the thing is, you cannot apply their logic to a first party like Xbox, because even Nintendo and PlayStation do not work that way. Remember the profit margin numbers I asked you to guess? Well, here are the answers. Nintendo's net profit margin last year was 23.9%. The year before, it was 29.3%. Pretty awesome. But that's because Nintendo are laser focused like Activision, and even with that, they cannot consistently hit 30%. As for PlayStation, they had 8.8% and then 6.7% respectively. This is pretty rough. Now, these guys are Xbox's closest competitors. They are mass-market console producers representing opposite ends of the spectrum. And Bloomberg notes that the industry average ranges from 17 to 22%, and that Xbox was resting between 10 and 20%. So, it's not unreasonable for Microsoft to ask Xbox to increase margins, especially since the division hasn't really worked that well since the Xbox 360 era. But there's a problem with that, and that problem is the size of the increase they were asking for and the timing. Mandating Xbox to hit 30% within a few years is healthy and reasonable. That is them growing the business. But just demanding 30% now, regardless of what you're going to lose in hitting that, well, that creates chaos. Chaos that we have all seen. It creates an Xbox that cannot do long-term planning. I mean, at what stage do we just look at Phil Spencer and think, wow, that guy's a liar? Now, from everything I understand, he's one of the last, like him and Sarah Bond, are some of the last forces just holding the worst shit at bay. You can imagine from their perspective, every plan that they make seemingly gets destroyed by these insane targets that have been given to them. Just take exclusive games as an example. Halo Campaign Evolved and Forza Horizon 6 were announced to launch on the PS5. And the reason why is simple. Xbox had a long-term plan. That plan was to make Game Pass great value using a credit system so the developer sales were not a factor even with them having waning console sales. But now they need the 30% target. And with that, games need to be more profitable, and they need to be more profitable faster. And that means launching on the biggest console where any amount of sales will help move that needle. But, of course, what it also will do is completely cede their ground on the hardware space. Because right now, to buy an Xbox is foolish. Just buy a PlayStation. It's a better console with a better games library, and a games library that's going to include all the Microsoft stuff. So why even bother with Xbox? And what that does is it tanks their hardware sales. It makes Xbox, as the platform that most consumers understand it, look completely directionless. Like they've got no clear plan to actually compete in the game space. They have a plan to make money off games, but not a plan to compete in the way that we would want them to. In the way that would, force PlayStation to be better. And here's the thing. They're not just competing in the game space. They're competing inside Microsoft. Okay, so remember when I flagged Satya Nadella at the start of this video? Well, this year, our boy Satya is getting a pay rise of 22% up to 96.5 million in total comp. Well done, Satya. Now, GameFile spotted something goddamn interesting. That Xbox just met their revenue growth target for the first time since 2021, where they achieved 15% content and services revenue growth against a 14% goal. Happy days, and that sure made the CEO get his lovely stock-based payout. Every other year, other divisions made their goals and kept Nadella happy, but Xbox did not. Now, in theory, this would mean that he would have personal incentive to improve Xbox because if all the divisions are doing better, then the board can better justify increases in his compensation. Now, in reality, it's all part of the same system. It's all part of Microsoft. And it's a system that we suggested means that Microsoft doesn't really care about Xbox that much. And the reason is that they don't care about Xbox as a division that makes games as a part of the games industry. They care about Xbox as a division that makes profits within Microsoft. Those are two completely different missions for Xbox. And for us on the outside, it means they have fundamentally changed. It means that they are now a junior competitor against the likes of PlayStation. And it means that we can no longer expect them to take as big swings, to try to define the future of the industry, to change its direction, to drive new types of hardware and new experiences, to do interesting shit that furthers games as a medium. That won't happen. Because what they need to do is generate profit for their overall entity. An entity that really doesn't give a shit about games. And on the topic, do you know what's an existential threat to a company? Cocking up your GTA killing game so much that just shy of 100 staff have done a big open letter against you. It is quite the story, bit of a hilarious shit show, pretty bad for the people involved, and you can learn all about it in this video next.
Ow, okay, you're back of my head. My hair. Oh. No. Why does it always comes down to the same
I can
piece?
post a video of my page to that.
Oh, you want this one? Okay, I'll pick this one. Doodly head, doodly head, doodly head. Oh, doodly head. I'm doodly very squishy head. Come on. No. Give me. Oh! It's the same piece. Grab on there, grab hold. Whoopee. How am I that? How are you doing? And that, you never were.
I think this one's better.
Yeah, I think
Yes, 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 yes. Asking the same question over and over and over. Well, son, that's what and you know that's me. You can see my name there.
Why didn't anyone stop this? Did the host go to jail?
People were looking back at old scenes and saying, Dan Schneider is obsessed with feet. This feels inappropriate for children.
When TV shows market themselves as appropriate for kids, you would expect fun, bubbly characters with colors flying across the screen. But for some kids networks, that isn't the case. Instead of parents feeling a sense of relief, they now have to worry about what their children are watching behind their backs, because the true horrors that hide behind the for kids label can be haunting. I'm Visual Venture, and we're diving into the dark world of kids TV shows, starting from the most appropriate shows to the most disgusting ones. I'm not gonna lie, the last ones terrified me. Cow and Chicken. First released in July of 1997, Cow and Chicken was a beloved animated comedy series on Cartoon Network. The show followed an unlikely sibling duo of Cow and Chicken as they went on a series of wild adventures. The series became a fan favorite for its out-of-pocket humor, but most of these praises came from adult watchers instead of actual kids, since many of the jokes were clearly targeted at a much older audience. When it came to kids, Cow and Chicken wasn't exactly the best show to watch. Many of the show's main punchlines tied back to inappropriate undertones, particularly referring to butts. Although using butts as the butt of the joke is a common thing in cartoons, Cow and Chicken takes it to a whole nother level by making it an actual plot point in some episodes. Cow in particular is always seen showing her behind to the screen, and the character is only supposed to be 7 years old. Chicken, her older brother, is only 11. But while this can be argued as just part of cartoon culture, there's also other red flags about the show that parents have pointed out, or more like red.
Welcome back. All right, if you're buying a gift for a child this year, you definitely want to hear this. About 206,000 children in the United States were treated for toy-related injuries in 2021.
One says the toy just suddenly started burning. Verdict is left wondering how safe her children's Fisher-Price toys really are.
Kids' toys are a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's no surprise because parents love seeing their kids have fun. In 2023 alone, Americans spent $28 billion on toys. But sometimes the toys meant to make kids happy end up putting them in the hospital. Every 3 minutes, one child is treated in a US emergency room for a toy-related injury. We'll rank dangerous kids' toys that got banned, starting from minor injuries to serious consequences. My name is Visual Ventura. I want to thank you guys for supporting it. The world. The Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab. In 1950, a mysterious red box showed up in toy stores across America.
Looks like a lovely little red paper suitcase with snake skin, it's not snake skin, on the outside of the box.
It was a new toy, the Gilbert U-238 Atomic Energy Lab. The science kit lets kids conduct experiments, mix chemicals, and have fun while learning. There was just one problem. The science kit contained radioactive materials, the kind used in nuclear bombs.
It's because it comes with 3 sources of radiation and 4 uranium ores that are also radioactive.
So who thought it was a good idea to put radioactive materials in a toy? The man behind the Gilbert Atomic Energy Kit was Alfred Carlton Gilbert, a famous toy inventor.
We live in an age of science. This year at Gilbert, we present the finest toy line in our history.
By 1950, people were very interested in atomic energy. World War II just ended, the first atomic bomb had been dropped, and nations were scrambling to build nuclear weapons. Gilbert believed this was the perfect time for an educational toy that taught kids about atomic energy. The toy was marketed to parents as a way to direct their children toward a potential career in science and engineering. It contained a cloud chamber, an electroscope, as well as other devices and chemicals that let kids measure radioactivity. Even though Gilbert promised the toy was safe, one part of the kit was more dangerous than parents thought. The kit came with 4 small jars of real uranium. This uranium released as much radiation as UV rays from the sun.
It really did emit very, very low amounts of radiation, but I probably would not encourage children to hold these samples next to their body all day long.
Long-term exposure to radiation is very dangerous, and the kit contained U-238 uranium isotope, which has been linked to many serious diseases, including cancer. The instructions instructions in the kit warn kids not to open the jars containing uranium because they tend to flake and crumble, and you would run the risk of having radioactive ore spread out in your laboratory. Luckily, this dangerous toy never caught on. At a price tag of $50, which is around $650 today, the Gilbert Atomic Kit was too expensive for most parents.
And they sold poorly. And the reason for that is not because of any radioactivity concerns, but rather because it was expensive. It was $50.
In 1951, the kits were completely banned from stores barely a year after they were released. Luckily, the Atomic Kit only sold a few units before it was removed, but our next toy sold millions before anyone realized how dangerous it was. Slap bracelets. When we think of dangerous toys, we picture those with lots of moving pieces and electrical parts. However, the simplest toys are sometimes the most dangerous.
We used to have these in the olden days. They were called slap bracelets.
In the summer of 1990, slap bracelets were released in the US and sales went through the roof. In just 3 months, Main Street Toys sold 1 million of the bracelets for $2.50 each and had orders of 5 million more. Slap bracelets were part toy and part fashion statement. Kids were addicted to snapping the bracelet over their wrist and molding it flat again. In 1990, right after the original slap wraps came out, a bunch of knockoffs appeared on the market. But the companies that made these fake bracelets would do anything to make a quick buck, even putting people in danger. The original slap wraps used high-grade quality steel with rounded edges and a double knit fabric. But the knockoffs, which were coming from Asia, were made of cheaper fabric and low-grade steel with sharp edges that could rust through the fabric. If the cover tore and the metal band was exposed, it could cause injuries like cuts and scrapes when slapped onto a wrist. Unfortunately, the copycat